To Constructive Outrage, episode 98 in this mother freaking house. Y'all know what it is. Presidential Tariff Solutions. It's a thing. We got to talk about it, but we got to have some fun with it because I don't want to be talking about tariffs for the rest of my life. So we'll have a little fun with it, then we move on. And to help me do just that, we got the man from Compton in the hood coming at you right out. What you buying that? Bam, it's mine now. Critical mass in the motherfucking house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What up? What up? West Coast, Best Coast. Say something, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody.
Multicultural, coastal up in this piece. From Cali to NY, Bronx finest. Give it up to the man himself, Mr. Hey, y'all see it right there. Y'all going behind the scenes. NYC Blue in the house tonight. Give it up for AK-47 in the house.
Going broke.
Yo, look at the girls. Look, that boy got a girlfriend. That boy got a girlfriend. You ain't seen
He's got the curls for the girls.
Soon I'll have waves again.
That fool got a girlfriend.
I just gotta get my do-rag, that's all.
He got that wavy Puerto Rican afro. That's gonna come.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darth Rashidi will be joining us at some point tonight, our president. And he's going to field questions from the community because if anybody gonna get it right, is the statue president. And we have a sit-down interview with them tonight where we ask him the toughest questions and demand the best solutions because that's what the community deserves. We also got Anthony Mestas joining us tonight, but it ain't for this. It ain't for no tariff talk. I want to get that straight out. He's here because you know what I mean. There's the business side of Sideshow. There's the creative side. He's on the creative producer side of it. He doesn't make all of the business decisions, so I'm pretty sure they're trying to figure shit out over there. But also wanted to get some insight on some of those fantastic, only the ones hand-picked statues that only I care about. More information on. I don't give a fuck about some of those other statues.
He just said, fuck what we like. It's all about him.
He said, fuck what you like. It's all about me, baby. Hey, whose credit card is paying for this StreamYard, motherfucker?
I'm just kidding. No, he's gonna give us some earlier looks because these statues are already out and about, but we're gonna get to see some of the stages and variety and variations of these pieces as they transition development. So that's going to be cool. So he'll be joining us at a later point today. But other than that, critical mass. How you been doing? How's life?
Good. Life is good. No major complaints, you know. Work week is almost over. The weekend is upon us. And, you know, I'm just ready for a couple of days to sit back and chill and do nothing. Just chill.
And drink that
I take that wrong.
Juice.
Get that pineapple juice in your life.
This ain't pineapple. This is that hard stuff. You ain't get. This is what E&J and mudslide, son.
Cider.
E&J and mudslide. I'm drinking heavy right now, bro.
Oh wow!
I'm drinking heavy. I'm about to get.
He's gonna get lit.
I'm lit. Is that what the kids say? I'm lit right now. Okay.
What are you drinking? The Incredible Hulk? What?
This is called mudslide. It's a little brighter. It's not as dark.
It don't look brown.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's that new 2025.
Is that new?
It's Kahlua, son.
You said you don't know?
Is that a thing? That's a thing. I remember that being a thing.
Kahlua. Yeah.
AK, how you doing?
Kalua's still a thing. I'm doing all right.
How's your little collection doing? I don't mean little, like small collect. I mean little, like
it's there. It's about put it this way. I'm glad Iron Studios exist. I'm glad Iron Studios exist. Because
hey, Iron Studios got some stuff that I think they some Assassin's Creed. They got some Assassin's Creed. Do you care about that?
No, that's Pure Arts.
That's no.
Uh-huh.
Don't have me. Don't be wrong on your little people.
It's Pure Arts and it's 1/8 scale.
Really?
They took all their quarter scale pieces and made them 1/8.
It don't matter because I don't want my Japanese samurai black. I said it.
Black Arai?
Ladies and gentlemen, the viewpoints of crypto do not reflect those of Constructive Outrage. Your discretion is advised.
Hey, I want my Asians.
Much like that.
I want my samurais. I want my samurais to embody pure Asianness. I want them to be the Asianness of Asians, bro.
Altair is still Muslim. Ezio is pure Italian. Okay, it's all good.
But they didn't make Ezio black. They didn't be like, "Hey, it's me."
Because Ezio's Italian. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Critical, you want to take over?
I want to get canceled today. I told y'all I'm drinking heavy today.
His mudslide he's gonna have his own mudslide later.
You want to hear a quick story?
Let me activate my my hacking skills and take over the show real quick.
There you go. Hey, I said, yo, I'll be right back, Critical Mass. I'm gonna go downstairs and pour me my drink. You know, I'm gonna pour my drink, go downstairs, go in the refrigerator, get the mixer. Then I started shaking it, and it just everywhere because somebody didn't put the top on it fully. So I just spent pre-show pretty much ghetto mopping the floor. It's my life.
With your foot? With your foot? You got a rag on the ground?
Paper towel.
He took his sock. He just wiped it all up.
Oh, with the sock? It's like...
Yeah.
Ew. No, man, yeah, but we're going to talk a little bit. Like I said, we'll talk about the tariffs. We'll have our little fun with it. And then we will move on. Because, Critical Mass, before we do that, let's talk to the people. Let's see who's in our chat, who's rocking with us, and then we'll get that started. Then we'll have our interview with Darth Rashidi. And then we'll have Anthony Mestas. And then it should be a fun-ass show. So let's see.
We're gonna have fun.
Let's get some music going.
Put on some music.
Mestas versus Darth Rashidi.
Oh, I know.
Round
right?
87.
Yeah, they be killing me when they go at it. I love how they don't back down from each other.
They're like rams.
I won't pass the yo. Brick is doing. Anyway, y'all know who we got in the house. We got Critical Mass doing double duty. We got Jose Alicia in the house tonight. What up to Jose Alicia? We got Ro in the house tonight. Yo, Ro, what you playing these days, yo? Hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you've been playing. I've been on that Monster Hunt when I get a chance. Jose Alicia says, you don't want your Tom Cruise as your samurai? No, I don't want Tom Cruise. I want him to play the same person that he played in Tropical Thunder all the time.
No, Crypto wants Richard Chamberlain,
the producer.
Yeah, he was the man. And the only white person that could play a black person is Robert Downey Jr.
That's what you mean?
Skies is another.
What do you mean, you people? Oh, that shit was funny.
Play the dude. Skies is another dude.
We got Venom Tech saying what up to E-Man. Shout out to Venom Tech and E-Man in the mother freaking house. We got Theodore. Yo, Theodore, I seen your pictures and I watched the replay. I'm still getting through it. BSC last night. They had a great discussion on tariffs. I got to get through it. But yeah, they pretty much addressed some of the concerns from the collectors. And I think I seen CMP's thumbnail. I got to watch that one too because I just got back, son. I just got back. That's why I wasn't on my homie CMP show a couple days ago. We got the legend in the mother freaking house today. Yo, what's going on with PCS again? I seen a notification from Alex just now, just popped up. It was like, yo, it's like he's putting out fires. It seems like it's like the fireman is out there. I don't know too much about it. I'll look into it and see if it's worth talking about. If y'all know anything about it, let me know. I can pull something up. We got Jesse Mendez in the mother freaking house saying what up to Legend and Figure Kong Pop. We got Figure Kong in the house tonight. We also got mother freaking Grifter. Good evening, good sir Grifter. In the house tonight. We got random. Man, you hit that random button, you never know what Korean is going to pop up. And we got the best one, an Australian Korean. That's better than a pure Korean. Absolutely, 100%. And we got Mr. Kennedy in the house tonight. And we got my homie StreamYard in the house joining us, gifting us 200 gifted subs. Thank you, StreamYard. Appreciate you. Is that how they do it on Twitch, right? That's how you do it on Twitch. Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Miss E-Man, Renton.
I didn't miss E-Man. E-Man missed me. E-Man, how you ain't gonna say nothing?
Because you went reverse. You went from bottom up.
Oh, I went bottom up and some more was coming in. Yeah. Never go bottom up. Always go up. Pause. Peter Parker, brother from another mother, Brenton in the house tonight. Shout out to Brenton. Look at Thrawn up in the building.
Oh, hold on. The governor of Puerto Rico is in the house.
The Puerto Rican deacon himself?
Edwin Diaz, governor.
The Puerto Rican deacon. I finally hit Edwin back. I was just like, yo, see what Edwin. You can't just give I don't like giving one word response to Edwin, because Edwin puts thought into his messages, right? You want to read them, you want to dissect, you want to open up a dialogue, you want to engage. But when I don't got time, I'm like, I put a pin in that one and I'll come back and then I get caught up. But yo, shout out to Edwin Diaz, always rocking with us. Saying what up to RK. Just some bum in the building. Yo, you ain't just some bum. You the bum, son. You are the prime numero uno bum. There ain't no bum like just some bum. Don't put yourself down like you are the number one bum in the community, bro. I don't like when people don't own that shit. Take pride in it. Ladies and gentlemen, so, wait. Angel Luna saying what up to the collectors in the house tonight. Alan Kiefer saying what up to the collectors in the house tonight. Yo, and that's what's up. So the tariffs is here. They're here. Everybody's here. Everybody running. I think this is awesome. I think. Let me load this down though, because I want y'all to hear. I don't want my words to be mixed. Yeah. I think the tariffs is the best thing that happens to a true, real community, collecting community. There's been a lot of fake collectors lately. A lot of fake collectors. You know what I mean? Looking for cheap statues and shit.
Like Buck Fangs. And the rest of the BBC.
They want, you know, look at that name. Broke Boy Collectors. And they trying to be up in a big, high-stake game.
Rotating their collection every 6 months. Real.
This shit ain't for the weak at heart.
How you gonna rotate
if you trying to figure out if you have to buy eggs or buy a statue, get the fuck out the hobby. It ain't for you. I'm sick of these fake collectors. If you trying to figure out, like, if you thinking twice about buying a 7K statue, get the fuck out of here. This hobby ain't for you. Real collectors only. But when I came in the game, I was taught by the great Fatal the Collector how to be a real collector, bro. This is real here. This ain't like, yo, how am I gonna gatekeep if y'all get cheap statues?
You know what I heard, Crippler?
Talk to me, Critical Man.
A wise man once said, if you
want
have
that
to
juice.
think about it, you
Mhm.
can't afford it.
You have to think about it. You can't afford it.
You can't afford
So what
it.
I want to see, I want it to be like, this is the great Daniel Snap. This is the greatest Daniel Snap. Half the community get the fuck out of here. We only want the rich. We only want the people that collecting, that can collect without worrying about if $2,000 is going to affect them getting a statue. Get the fuck out of $2,000. You shouldn't be in this game, bro.
It's going to get mighty dusty around here.
I got people on this panel that I respect, but they poor as fuck, AK.
Fuck
You know
you.
what I mean? And-
Not that poor. Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, we gonna have to replace him because I don't want no broke ass ninja on this show. I want to be like, the only reason we gotta have him
Motherfucker, you
on
live
the
in New
show-
York. You pay the top dollar rent and shit.
Hey, all I want
Listen,
is for
I
AK to
collect
be
what I
on the
like.
show so I could show
I don't
him
give
what
a
real
shit.
statues look like, bro.
All right,
If
so
I
then you
buy
buy me.
10K,
Then you buy my
if I-
statues,
if every-
motherfucker. How about that? You buy my statues.
Hey, no, listen,
Then you
I
can
ain't
talk
gonna
shit
buy
about my
your
collection. But
statues.
until then,
Yo,
zip
I
it.
feel like, Constructive Outrage crew, we take care of our brothers. So what we're gonna do here for the crew and for our company, the company, is we're gonna make sure that you guys get a premier statue once a month just for being on the panel. And I'm not talking about that cheap ass freaking insert company here. Y'all know the one I'm talking about, bottom feeder sideshow. We're talking about only the best statues, XM or better.
Oh,
They
you gonna
don't
give
got
me next
statues right
Transformer?
now though, but when they do, you know they're gonna be bangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're gonna be bangers. So like, think about all of the people we're gonna snap out the community, bro. All of the people, yo, CMP gone, out of here.
No.
Yeah,
The final
you think he a
boss.
real collector.
The final
That fool
boss.
collects hot toys. I seen him. He just hides them from y'all. I seen hot toys in that full collection, bro. He ain't no real collector. Straight up. We also think about who else we get.
We got a request. Venom Tech would like you to pass that drink over.
Yo, what is that?
The Amazon one.
Hey, I got you, homie.
No, he
Hey.
said, "Speaky Crip, pass some of that drink over, homie."
I got you. Cause yeah, I think the community has been getting filled up. First of all, the first thing I want y'all to do right now, and we could get rid of half of y'all right now. I don't even care if I have two people left in here. I want you to lift up your favorite statue. Look at that motherfucking ES under it. If it's double digits, throw that shit away. Nobody gives a fuck about a statue that's in the freaking double digits already. 0 to 9, real collector status. If you got a 10, get that shit out your collection. It ain't worth a damn. I'm sick of y'all freaking bottom feeders.
I might have to exile myself.
Hey,
I'll join you.
yo, speaking of, if you living your whole collecting life on a payment plan, get the fuck out the hobby.
That exile
Nigga,
myself.
you balling like that
Yourself.
shit? No, fuck out of here.
Yo, I'm sick of this. I'm trying to like everybody feels like they should have everything, but
Oh,
they
shit.
are the have-nots.
We have a
If
couple of
you're the
disciples in the
have-not
chat.
for me to have,
I feel like, hey,
y'all
I
can't
feel like
have it.
I need to go to a 12-strip program. Yes,
I got you though.
am a payment plan.
I
Yes,
got
I
a
do
plan
live my
for the
life by
CLC
payment
members. The CLC members going to be taken care of. We got this. We pay you guys. We pay you guys freaking healthcare, and we're going to make sure you guys get a premium statue to lord over the little people's heads.
Crippler, hold
every
on.
month.
Hold on.
Did we get?
We got EJ in the chat saying he will take all your 10s and ups. Stat numbers.
Hey. First of all, you assuming that's fucked up. You assume that I have anything below a 9, dude. My freaking every statue I got right here, ES is 0 to 5, 5 being max. 5 being max, yo. Ask Angel. Ask a freaking Angel. in the chat, dude. I got his Grimlock from him. It was 02. Angel Luna will tell you.
Your edition number is 02?
It's just 2, bro. I don't know if there's a 0.
You said 02.
Motherfucker,
go eat a sandwich. Let's go.
that drink is getting to him.
Hey,
you a little buzz. You a little nice right now.
It's crazy. I want half of the people. I want it to be like this. Used to be the best way to gatekeep, bro. I used to be able to go and be like, "Yo, I got me a war tank." You know what I mean? And it was like I got that, and then I'm like, yeah. You know, that fool can't get it. I'm better than him. Like, it made me feel good about myself. Now, thanks to these tariffs, I could get that feeling back again. You know what I mean? I could feel good about myself again, yo. Because right now, when I buy that freaking Iron Studios freaking Wolverine 1/6 scale for $3K, I know AK can't get that shit. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm gonna feel? I'm gonna feel like the boss. I'm gonna feel like
that Prime 1 Superman was 1,000. I think I'm gonna end up paying 2,500 altogether for that motherfucker.
That's what I mean. See, you got real collector tendencies in you. I can feel it. I can feel it.
I'm so critical. I go, that's the one piece I'm gonna have to eat it hard on, man.
Hey, you don't have to pause.
Did you get on I'm
not
judging.
judging.
Payment plan with that, AK?
Hey.
No.
Oh, you paid it flat out?
See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. We already starting to lose him. And he was my boy. Comicality is the homie. But his colors have been shown. Fake ass collectors. Who else want to be a fake ass collector up here?
Who else want to out there?
Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Constructive Outrage will not make it to episode 100.
Episode 100. Hey, yo, see my boy, your vision. He understands the art of real collecting, bro. He knows. He got that maestro because he knew most people couldn't fit it in. Like real collectors would have figured out how to fit
on
that
his
in.
Back, he made sure he fitted it in.
Yo, buttery back and all, he made sure that shit. He was slipping, trying to carry that shit. Greasy ass back, but he did it. He did it. Greasy back, butter back, did it.
Land Lakes and all.
That's what I'm talking about. What else we got? We got fake anime statue collectors. They the worst too. See, they think they could get their little like that. This is why this is so good, yo. The tariff situation. It's going to keep those anime statues where they belong, yo. They're going to keep that anime bullshit where it belongs, not in America. Yo, stop.
Hey.
Stop. Cloud is not, he's not anime. He just got anime tendencies. He just got,
he's polygon.
He's polygon. He's a gamers they get a pass. They get a pass. But yo,
this is full on anime.
Yo, we wiped the whole BBC off the map with these tariffs, son. You know they ain't buying. Look at the name, Brokeback Club.
There won't
they ain't
be a
buying
show
shit.
week.
They going under.
Oh, Chainsaw Man.
That's Chainsaw Man?
Yeah.
I like that show.
That's cool. That's better than the P1 one, if I'm being honest. It's a little more bloody.
Did you see Prime 1 canceled Homelander?
Good. No, just kidding. Yeah.
All right, so yeah,
now that we know, now that we separating the fake collectors with the real collectors, and whoever's here now is a real collector. Whoever left, I'm sorry. Now we could get. They can go to these other shows. They'll take care of you. I could suggest CMP. They got a lot of fake collectors on that channel.
He's a real collector.
They have a safe place.
Piggy's a real collector.
Piggy? Mr. Segregation himself, Piggy?
Yes.
Mr. Fake ass little Voltron thinking he got a real Voltron, Piggy?
Mr. Pineapple Juice, Pineapple Pizza.
Why would disrespect Voltron like that?
Hey. You talking about...
Watch your mouth. You're going to catch a fucking bat across your mouth.
You talking about begging Jay Sia for Martian Manhunter, Piggy? That Piggy?
Yes.
Fake ass collector.
The mayor of Atlanta, Piggy.
Hey.
He's the mayor of Atlanta. Recognized.
Don't ever put Piggy and real collector in the same sentence, dude. That's disrespectful for all of the real collectors out there. All of them. And our president is going to speak to this when he comes on eventually, sometime, at some point. Come on.
Yeah.
He'll be here.
He'll be limoing in shortly.
Yeah, he's flying in.
Oh, damn. Even the chat is saying it right now. Piggy is a real collector. See that shit?
Hey.
Wow.
Chat knows.
Half of these fools gonna be on.
He's
What's
yelling.
What's that custom produced?
I think that guy takes lessons
with
from
the host Dion.
Edwin.
They're all gonna be, all of them. Watch, all of these people who can't afford real statues are gonna flood. They're gonna all congregate to the freaking custom produced channel. With, I think Dion is the leader over there, the heart. They're gonna all go over there, and then they're gonna. These fools gonna start having tips on how to make their own statues and paint them and shit. Like, fucking poor people go poor, yo.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm about to
Poor
invest in a
people
3D
gonna pour,
printer
yo.
myself.
Huh?
I'll invest in a 3D printer if I have to, and then get the STL file.
That's what I'm talking about. And yo, that's what I'm
Learn
talking
how to
about.
paint.
Yo, X-Men says Piggy told me he don't like BBC fake panel members. So, see, that's what I'm talking about. All of them are fake, yo. Half of the fake collectors go, half of the fake shows go. Bam. Only thing is left is pure freak. It's only art, statue collector left, and me. That's it. Nobody else left, son. Art and me. Only real collectors left in the game doing YouTube. Not
really,
Art
Mr. X ain't a real collector?
Huh?
You saying Mr. X ain't a real collector?
He's poor as fuck. That's why he had to sell his Cybertruck. Y'all think he got money, though? He just says he got money. You could say you got money.
You believe
I got
it.
$1 million. I don't have $1 million, though. And all of his statues are leased like his vehicles. I'm sick of all of these people trying to get. I'm just sick
You're
of
full
it.
of shit. You're saying Fatal's not a real collector?
Fatal is the only real collector, but he don't do YouTube no more. So it's just me. What?
You're saying Archangel isn't a real collector?
Archangel is from Alabama. Say less. Need I say more?
Wow.
Need I say more? Y'all been bamboozled by this
the Bamas can
YouTube
get
shit.
some
Y'all
too.
Y'all been straight up bamboozled by these. Yo, I'm gonna throw all, like, now that the tariffs is here, I feel like I could get everything that I've been wanting to say off my chest, dude.
You could just, you rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, let's talk about Jarhead for a little bit. Just a little bit.
Jarhead's a real collector.
You think Jarhead's a real collector?
Yes, he is.
Why you think he's in a hotel every week?
Because he's working.
Nah, son. Because his wife kicked him out the house every time he brings a new fucking statue home. He can't afford this shit.
You saying Jem Mint's not a real collector?
Jem Mint sold his fucking house. What are we talking about?
I'm winning this motherfucker right now. I can't.
What are we talking about? I'm the only real one left. And Art barely by a string. And I'll be catching up to him the time this show's over.
Throw him in the back for a sec. I know you got control. Come on.
He's
scared.
I think you need to let it get it out of his system.
Clearly.
No.
That little juice is like a fucking truth serum and shit.
I told y'all when I want that sippy, them tiny bubbles.
Critical, was he like this at StatueCon?
He lost his voice at StatueCon.
Oh shit!
Right now.
Ain't that some shit? God,
yeah,
you're starting to sound like July all over again.
Let's talk about StatueCon.
I'm looking at flights and stuff right now.
I ain't a real collector. All screen. See, Mr. Popo fake is. Yo, Mr. Popo, you lucky you didn't submit me a picture of your collection, bro. You lucky. I seen it on BBC. Shout out to BBC. More fake collectors. Not BBC, BSC. Yo, I seen your picture there.
You telling me BSC ain't a real collector? He is the real collector. He redid his entire basement.
Batman and call yourself a real collector.
There's no rule.
You cannot only collect Batman. He collects bat artifacts. That ain't That ain't a collector.
So if that's the case, then X-Men exclusive isn't a real collector because he only collects X-Men.
Preach, AK. Finally, preach.
Oh,
You just threw gasoline on it.
You just now you got the thought process right. You know what I mean? So like so I think
bullshit. You know what?
2025 getting rid of
not gonna come on and unbox his cool stuff anymore because of you. He's a real collector. He got pieces no one has.
Y'all gotta stop giving that title to anybody, bro. You gotta earn a real collector title, dude. Like I don't consider if you're probably Dr. Mike. I think Dr. Mike probably be a semi. Oh, he's on the cusp.
Oh damn! There goes the shot again. X-Men exclusive, the real collector. See, ain't that some shit?
Nah, son.
Wow.
Archangel will tell you too. Like
and Mr. Kennedy's on it tonight.
Yo, Mr. Kennedy be on the chat heavy, dude. Like real collector. I got an X-Men freaking bed sheet. That's what I mean, dude. I could go get an X-Men sticker. That don't
you got
mean
X-Men socks. How many people have X-Men socks?
I got underoos. That don't mean I'm a collector, dude. I got X-Men underoos still from when I was 5 years old, bro. That don't make me a real collector, bro. You should ask yourself, why do I have X-Men bed sheets? Y'all be killing me, bro. Thinking everybody a collector, yo. I'm gatekeeping this shit. I'm taking collecting back, bro.
You are. Wow.
I don't want. If you got an ES of over fucking 5, you need to start really thinking about not letting it get to 6, because once you get to 9, double digits, and you don't want to be that type of collector, bro.
Do you have
I'm just saying.
Stock?
Oh, I know this fool.
Hold on.
You don't have I know he ain't talking about my Transformers.
Critical mass.
I'll die for my Transformers. Will you die for your X-Men fake ass collector?
Yes, sir.
No.
By his own admission. Because BSC collects only Batman.
Yeah. Fake ass collector.
X-Men.
Yeah, fake ass collector.
Crippler's a fake ass collector because all he has is those fucking Transformers behind him.
Oh, he's grabbing the camera. He's grabbing the camera. It's getting real.
Those look like fucking X-Men to me, bro.
That's a weak ass corner. Call yourself a collector.
I'm telling you right now.
With your fake ass hairline.
I broke my.
Hey,
motherfucker! This motherfucker's hairline made by Maybelline. Bro. Cut out of here,
Maybelline.
Yo,
I think
I'm sick of all y'all fake collectors.
We're gonna have to send in a.
Was he born with it? No, it's Maybelline.
Yo, hey, straight up, that was good because you got me where I'm self-conscious at. So I'm gonna chill right now. I'm gonna chill because you hurt my feelings.
You gonna pull it back.
You hurt the bully's feelings right now, bro. Let me adjust.
The bully finally got punched in the nose.
Yeah, why you punch me in the mouth, dude? I was just playing.
Listen, if I could take down that bully, Buck, I can take down anybody.
Hey, yo, Billy,
your lunch
shout
money.
out to Billy Rios.
I'm just stealing your lunch money, man.
He's a borderline collector, but I don't know. I don't think he's a real collector.
I've seen Billy's collection.
Yo,
he's a real ass collector. He's
what did he actually? What did you really see though? What did you really see?
Statues. I've seen his baseball collection.
Or what they recast
collection. Get the fuck out of here, recast.
He's from New York, bro. Billy's from New York. I don't trust anybody from New York who has a statue. Period.
I don't give a shit. I'm from New York. I don't give a fuck.
That's why you don't have that's why I don't trust you.
I don't care.
Straight up, Ledge. I think you're a real collector, bro. Ledge is probably. It's me, Art, and maybe Ledge.
The legend.
God damn it. Y'all can't get that
Mr. Kennedy's on it again.
God damn, Billy. Look at that. See? Ain't that
my Transformer ES. All right, I'll tell you right now. Optimus is 1. Rodimus is 1. Grim, 1. Starscream, ES, 1. Soundwave, 0. Artist proof. All my X-Men, artist proof. You dealing with a real collector. So I got shit y'all can't even think of getting. Y'all could get a transformer and it still won't be good because it'll be an ES of double digits, son. Get that shit out of here. Get that out of here, son. Double digit statues. What's next? Triple digit statues? What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Listen, my edition number would be 1 too if I took nail polish remover, wiped it off, and renumbered it.
Hey, that's just like, that's why I don't trust people from New York. If they will take nail polish to remove an ES, why won't they just redo a whole statue, son? Think about it. Think about it. New York is different. New York is different. And Billy's not even from New York. He's Jersey, son. Jersey, that's like Hoboken and shit.
Hoboken.
Fuck. Hoboken, son. Say that name. It even sounds funny, yo. I'm sick of
Hoboken, no joking.
Yo, the tariff is going to bring beauty and peace and stability to the collecting game. I'm all for it. It's going to bring slavery. I mean, it's going to bring jobs back to America.
Wow. Talk about making America great again.
Hey, I think that's what we're about.
You know,
if you're a collector, bro, you know what it's all about. It's about getting your shit, flexing, going online, showing it off, and then going to sleep and then arguing with your wife, bro. That's that life. If y'all ain't living that life, I'm sick of that shit.
Hey, Crippler, you hit something when you said slavery. Now, I want you to have a vision. I want you to understand. I'm going to go deep. So, you know how all these cities used to have just this one area, a skid row, just all the homeless, all the bums.
We called it Martin Luther King Drive.
Yeah, ours was downtown LA, Skid Row. It was in that one area. Now that shit done spread all out. They're like, it's like The Walking Dead. These motherfuckers everywhere.
And that's what was happening.
I had an idea to make them a productive member of society with these tariffs coming. There's a lot of abandoned buildings in downtown LA. I want to take these homeless people and teach them skills how to sculpt. I want to teach them how to paint. And we're going to open up factories here in the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for hearing us out. We at COC only want the finest things for collectors. And when I'm talking about collectors, I'm talking about true collectors, low ES collectors, getting on that website, battling bots like a real man to get the statue they want. Turn it around, getting that piece, flipping that shit for like 3 or 4K over the retail, because that's what real collectors do, son. That's that value. And the only person that could represent this hobby the way COC loves it, likes it, lives it, breathes it, bleeds it, shits it, is our president, Darth motherfucker Rashid. Give it up for Darth Rashid, ladies and gentlemen. Your president. We're going to bring stability back to collecting. And I'm going to leave right now. Critical Mass is going to leave right now. AK is going to leave right now. And we're going to be back with our news team to be able to ask Darth Rashid the hard-hitting questions. And everybody in the chat, feel free to have your questions ready, because if you have an issue with the tariffs, we got the solutions. What up, Darth Rashid?
So, man, everything good?
Everything good. We were just talking about how fake the hobby got and how we're gonna bring, real stability back to this game with our president, Darth Rashid.
First of all, I need a lot of the YouTubers out there. Y'all doing a lot of dry content, man. Stop it, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all coming on these videos, and I love you guys, but there's nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Come on, there's nothing to talk about, bro. People are coming out trying to make content, and it's just not working, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to know about the tariffs. Nobody want to know Jim Mint about no goddamn key issues still worth money. Nobody want to. Nobody. No, listen. I gotta get it. Mr. X. Nobody cares about another Venomized statue that you got.
Yo, Mr. X, if you put Venom on something else, yo, straight up, we squabbling that statue con. Just straight up. I know you bigger than me and taller than me, and you got
You buy
He's
like
gonna
a
put venom
million.
on his Tesla.
You ain't gonna be
everybody's
disrespecting these
struggling.
statues with that Venom shit.
Everybody's struggling. He buying Venomized statues and shit. Next you know, for Christmas, you're gonna buy Venomized Santa Claus and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see not another Venomized statue by Mr. X. I'm sick of it, bro. I want to see if Mr. X. Matter of fact, Mr. X, if you ain't talking about some hard times, then don't come on, man. Don't make no more shows, man. Not right now.
Hey, Venom. Hey, so anyway, that was some real talk. Thank you for that introduction. As our statue president right now, you know tariffs are wrecking the economy. Chaos. All of these shows are talking about it. The homies Billy Rios and Chris. Home of that.
If I see Chris the Batman statue collector crying one more time about tariffs, I'm gonna lose it, man.
You know what? They are doing what's right for the community. Welcome, Anchorman AK. So yeah, what are your plans to ensure a healthy statue community, Mr. President?
Well, first of all, you know, I gotta keep everything down to a very secretive type way because there's too many people telling. If I'm gonna do things underneath the radar to the government, which I am, that's why I'm covering my face, then I need everybody's cooperation. You know what I'm saying? So, as you know, we do have a couple of planes. We do have submarine that was used to smuggle coke. I mean, used to, you know, but we have ways of getting around the tariffs, bringing in the statues. You know, we can ensure that. You know, it'll be a slow process, but it'll get done. You know, it'll get done.
Mr. President, I'm Dante St. Clair.
Welcome, Dante.
With the People's News Front.
Look like Critical Mass to me with glasses, but yeah, whatever. Go ahead.
Watch your mouth, sir. Now, the people have questions. And here's
what's the questions, motherfucker?
The president ain't got time.
Why do you think tariffs are good for the statue community?
Why do I think the tariffs are good for the statue community?
Yes, sir.
That's a stupid ass question you just asked, bro. Because it's not good for us.
The people would like to know.
I just said it. It's not.
Okay.
I got a question.
Because you got to understand. So we got to understand something. If we're trying to get, if we really want to pay a lot of money for statues, then okay, let's hire some people to paint our statues here and see what happens. Because I guarantee you, there will be no Sideshow statues for $600. The way their price has been going up, it's gonna go double. But go ahead.
I got a possible solution and a question for you.
I'm listening.
So it says, America was built on the back of slaves. Will you consider bringing slavery back to the U.S. if China does not cooperate?
I think these knuckleheads.
Before you answer that, we could think about people like Jupiter Cock and Cash and Buck, who those would be prime candidates. I don't think we get everybody, but I think there's type of people, those people, you know, those people we're talking about who will make great laborers to make our statues.
I couldn't even use Cash the Gemini or the Broke Boys. They're too weak. Yeah, they're brittle.
They're too brittle.
I think that people whoever's committing like the heinous crimes in the country, you'll be put back into slavery.
Okay, because a lot of them are really good artists.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, AK, do you have a question for our president?
No.
He just dressed to the nines. We got no question. Critical.
Yes. The People's News Front. We have a question. How do you plan to fix this issue?
What issue? You gotta ask the question.
The tariffs, sir. How do you plan to fix this situation?
Is it an issue though? I think it's weeding out those.
Excuse me, Crippler. Did I not subject him and tell him my means of transportation to go around the tariffs? Did I not say that?
You clearly and distinctively laid out a 5-point plan to bring statues using COC shipping as a means of transportation.
So why is he asking me a question that I already answered? Fake news.
Fake ass news.
I don't talk fake. I don't. AK, what's your question? I don't deal with fake news.
I ain't got no real question. I don't got no questions because I trust in everything you say.
That's the president.
I follow my president.
Hey, we are not a biased news organization right here. Hey,
go ahead. Let me the retard in the back. Go ahead. Oh.
Oh,
go ahead. Ask the question. Go ahead. Ask the question since you got so much questions. Go ahead.
Well, there's
right.
actually rumors that you're getting a kickback from these tariffs. What do you have to say about that?
Oh shit, son.
No, I'm not getting the kickback for a tariff. Next question.
Can you
Next question.
This?
You started a CLC collective.
Hold on, Crippler, because I got we got a smart ass with glasses.
Okay.
How do you want me to prove it when we haven't even put it into effect? How can I prove it? It hasn't been put in effect yet.
You gotta wait for the data, son.
Are you saying you can't
So
prove it?
You already jump into conclusions, already trying to put me in a situation that hasn't even been done. See, that shows that you're malice, and that's why I called you fake news.
But there's also talks of having you impeached for us to get in this situation.
All right, here we go again.
Who calling out?
You said I'm being impeached. Where's your proof of what?
There's talk.
I didn't hear anybody.
From who?
Talk? From who?
Mm-hmm.
It comes from a credible source, sir.
From
I'm
who?
sorry. I will not give
a
a
credible source.
Buck
So I
fans
guess
is
you,
not
I
a
guess
critical
you,
source.
so I guess you got a critical source of who killed Biggie and Tupac. Then with that bullshit too.
Fake ass journalisms. Okay, so
we know.
So, would you be in favor of the government, COC, creating their own localized company where you can buy, sell, trade within the community, where you don't have to even worry about the tariffs? You just go to www.coc.collectibles, and you can get all your
I think we should do that. I think we should do that.
So,
matter of fact, since allegedly Critical Mass has stuff to say, there's the Critical Mass here that allegedly I'm buying XM Studios.
So
allegedly,
I'm a news guy right here. I'm not Crip. I'm not nobody, but I will say that this is from Crippler. A source from his camp reached out and said that yesterday, finally, with the situation going on around the world, he canceled his final pre-orders for Galvatron RC. And
breaking news.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. People are gonna unfortunately they're gonna cancel. But don't worry, that doesn't. As long as I control the data to create the files.
Yeah.
When we
he said he's just gonna get it to CLC.
We'll make an announcement when we buy it. And my first action when I get into ownership is a fire and sing.
Would you do a public
and then I'm going to hire Jay, and then I'm going to hire Jay Sia as my front man.
Yo, president making moves, son. You heard it here first.
But Crippler, he allegedly heard that I was being impeached.
Oh, allegedly, right? Anyway, we're not biased here.
You sound threatened.
Silly Negro, bro.
You sound threatened, sir.
No.
Is there any chance?
How would you feel? How would you feel if somebody put tariffs on your Timberlands? How would that make you feel?
I'll go to Canal Street, like everybody else doing, and get the replicas. Perhaps.
Canal Street.
That's called solutions, Mr. President. I appreciate your thought process.
Exactly.
Okay, sounds like a reasonable solution.
Yeah. Let me see. We got somebody from named Casual Needs probably says, can Rasheed clear up the best day of the week? So there's a lot of rumors that Tuesdays are the best days, and they sip champagnes when they're thirsty. Is there
Fake news.
Is that a credible statement?
I can't say that because this week was a little light on the panel. So I don't know if Casual was.
When you say light, do you mean light-skinned, or do you just mean light?
No.
Okay.
I think Casual. I don't know if he paid the panelists this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that the COC's panel stays the same. We maintain the same podcast without an intern. Like they got an intern. So
and Thursdays are a really nice day too. I would say Tuesdays are the best days when it's not Thursday. I think that's fair to say.
Right, exactly. Thank you. But my campaign funding comes from Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Absolutely.
Not to mention Fridays from my brother Toy Quest.
Toy Quest 101, shout out. Hey, so there's a lot of channels out here making YouTube content about a niche hobby.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans to censor most of them so they're not on the air?
I'm not going to censor anybody.
Really?
I don't need to. You know
That's
why?
Unfortunate.
You know why? Because there's nothing to talk about. So people are just going to go to Netflix and start watching old ass bullshit ass movies and get off of YouTube until you come back. Then what I'm going to do is buy a new network. And it's going to be called the DCX.
Oh, so you're bringing back DCX? DCX?
Yep.
That's when collecting was
everybody.
That's real collecting.
This is how I'm gonna
collecting great again.
This is how we're gonna make collecting great again, especially on YouTube.
How we
Everybody's gonna have their specific day that they come on.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever day you come on, that person has to go on another day. You understand what I'm saying? So it's gonna be back there. So it's gonna be like that. So we can separate the monotony of stuff, So.
I get you. What do you say to people who feel like Collective Minds is rotting the youth, the collecting youth?
Nobody watched Collective Minds, so it doesn't matter.
They actually have 4 viewers that I know of right now, and that's 4 people who can get brain rot by watching Archangel.
That's actually Archangel with different TVs in his house.
What do you think? What do you say to the women who can't find boyfriends because they're always watching CMP on Tuesday?
Woke, you will go broke.
Man, what do you say about BBC's unhealthy obsession with Daniel Bell?
Oh wow. Well,
I love him too.
Just like in hip hop, what they say in hip hop, there's always going to be biters, D-writers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cash the Gemini is like the #1 D-writer for Cash is like the #1 for Daniel Bell. So I expect him to promote him. You know what I'm saying? He gets free statues for promoting Daniel Bell.
Oh, breaking news. The president has documentation proving that Castor Gemini receives monthly statues for free from Daniel Bell himself.
Definitely.
100% confirmed. Documentation, footage of Daniel Bell smuggling so the tariffs won't hit through the Underground Railroad all the way from Argentina.
Definitely.
To give the BBC a free statue.
Definitely.
So that he could continue to worship.
Crippler, we got questions from the audience.
Oh, you can tell.
Bring them
who
on.
do you want to go to?
Bring them on.
Jesse H.
Jesse H.
Asks, Mr. President, did you have sexual relations with that woman,
Methany? Oh, she said she was
I
pregnant.
told you, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's not what we heard. There's videos and
there you
pictures
go.
to prove
Jesse
otherwise.
Hernandez, do not ask it for the last time. I've answered that question. Don't ask me no more.
Mm-hmm. There you go. You have it straight from the president's mouth. His words were not mixed or minced. We got, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a pause for our sponsor, Low Key Collectors. Low Key Collector, where collecting is low key. Thank you for sponsoring the segment, Mr. Low Key Collector. And our other sponsor, Casual Nerd Problems. If you want to see problems casually nerd problems, Tuesday, 8 p.m. EST. Make sure you send them, tell them Crip sent you. Do we got any other ones?
We have another question in the audience. What will President Rasheed do
who's asking?
Someone named Kaz needs something.
Punani. It's pronounced Punani.
What will Rasheed do about wankster filth on YouTube?
That's a great question. He's been poisoning the minds. He's been actually rotting the collector's youth and turning them into scammers, an army of scammers that he has on his control. He's like Ultron, but for scamming. What are we going to do to maintain that virus? Contain that virus. We don't want to maintain it.
Well, you understand, listen, it's like he is needed. He's a necessary evil. That's what I say. You know, he's a necessary TRT testosterone necessary evil. You know?
You're trying to say we need real men and real men who can scam and be buffed?
Oh, I never said that. First of all, I never said he was a real man. Let's get
okay. I just wanted to clarify that because they clipped.
Crippler,
right.
Crippler, I got breaking news.
Oh,
breaking news. Breaking news. Archangel has admitted that no one watches Collective Minds on Sundays at 7 p.m.
We have a statement here first. I'm going to read it from the Collective Minds headquarters here over here in Alabama. It says, I agree. No one watches Collective Minds.
I didn't know Alabama had clock.
Quote.
I didn't know Alabama had clock.
They have one clock.
They do.
Oh, one clock. Oh.
Is it true that
in the town
and plus I want to let everybody know I've called out Flankster plenty of times and he hasn't responded. So I've gone on Dr. Mike's page on Facebook and put videos. He hasn't responded. You know.
Oh, I got somebody called Zebra Meat 101. He asked, "Are you planning?" Oh no, I don't know if I should. I don't. Next question. That's disrespectful to the person.
I'll take all the questions. I'll take all the questions, bro.
Okay, we have someone named Road D. Will President Rasheed ban anime collectors from the New York City subway system?
Oh, that's a great question. Like you can't even walk anymore without seeing anime.
First of all, like you will address me as Rasheed. I don't know who the fuck is Ray Rasheed. You know, I don't know who Ray is. But, I don't know what that fuck is, man. Would I ban anime collectors? Absolutely not. Because I am a fan of anime, just not that bullshit. Dragon Ball Z anime, you know. But I will allow. So if it's in the genre of anime, I cannot ban. You know, we need soft ass anime collectors like that also for the hobby. You know, we need a balance. And because me myself, I still love Berserk. I still would love Ninja Scroll being made, statues being made. I would love for a Vampire Hunter D customs. Can you hear? Vampire Hunter D. I would love a Vampire Hunter D statue made. So I will not ban anime. We do need a balance. And you know, I think that we need a balance. I'll keep those. Now, can I get rid of some anime collectors such as Buck
oh,
damn thing? Oh, and I must say that I want to add back my brother, he's back in that cabinet, Fatal. I have gotten my comic book, ladies and gentlemen. He is a man of his word. He is a man of God, a man of his word. You know
I had to really push him to get you that. God really worked on overtime to get
you know what? Yeah. God got on his ass. No, I gotta say that I know Mr. Fatal, my brother Fatal is has a lot of things going on in his world, especially his new career and everything. So, you know, but I want to thank him for sending me my comic book. I finally got it. Thank you, Fatal, my brother. You definitely did that, and
that's this Fatal, right?
Yes, and hopefully, let's hope that Fatal comes back. He said he's gonna come back, but we need you. We need some consistency here, Fatal, for you for your channel to come back, because at one point, Fatal the Collector ran Mondays.
Hey, so let's talk about that. Fatal the Collector, Mondays. Cool Nerds Lounge. My
light skinned brother. Yes.
It was the place to be if you were black or light skinned. It was the place to be there. It was and then, you know, we had a president who,
by the way, is Edwin Diaz is he in the chat anymore? I haven't heard from Edwin Diaz.
He is.
You talk about this Edwin Diaz?
Hold on. Breaking news from my source.
Puerto Rican Deacon?
Hold on. I got a breaking news from our source, Edwin Diaz. Archangel has just been fired for Collective Minds.
What? Collective Minds is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Right there. According to Edwin Diaz, Archangel just got fired from Collective Minds.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, Archangel, who was considered to be the leader, but found out later that it was Jerry, then found out later that it was not Jerry, and that it was actually Danny Lee the whole time. Danny Lee actually runs Collective Minds. I bet you didn't know that.
Yeah, you know what? I have to admit that I do watch Collective Minds after the show is over, so I can forward to because I forwarded through the to the eBay bids that they talk about.
I like that segment.
Oh, the market value. Yeah,
that's dope.
You know, I know they don't like. I know they don't like guests on their show, but maybe if you add a little seasoning to that bland meal,
I like that they have.
You might add some zest.
No, I like that they have a strict no black people policy. I think it's brave, and I think people should be able to have a preference.
Man, you know watching Collective Minds is like watching Archangel dance. No rhythm.
Hey, that's dope. You haven't watched Archangel dance?
Yeah, I said it. I said it.
Got to go to his OnlyFans for that. But Archangel said, he says, I agree. No one that we had broke that news. We broke more news. He says, I forced my
Don't worry. Nobody wants Sunday, Archangel. That's the time when everybody sleeps and rests. So you guys can keep that.
That's the Lord's Day.
That's the Lord.
Hey, this is just then. Like it says, this reads, I force my kids to watch on Sunday and give them questions to ask in the chat.
Wow. He just committed to child abuse.
Yes, it's crazy. Your vision says, Crip, your haircut is crispy. Thank you with the AI.
You know what? I have to agree with your vision. I was looking at that fade because I didn't want to sound zesty, but God damn it, man, that is one of the crispiest fades I have seen.
Hey, maybe it's Maybelline. Says.
It's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
His wife threw that on for him. Stop it.
So, Fatal, I'm glad you're here today, my brother, because
matter of fact, hold on. Take those earphones off. Let's see that crispy fade real quick.
Oh shit. Bam. Look at that.
Side profile. Crispy.
The Dominicans don't play. I'm just kidding.
Were they playing in the
they really don't. They really don't play when they cut their hair.
I like they came up lately, dude. It was before you only got to go to a brother.
I actually miss the Dominican Republic. I do miss the Dominican Republic.
The Dominicans, though, they got a place in Raleigh called New York Styles.
But you know, I've been to the Dominican Republic.
So they came from Washington Heights to you.
I got the homies from New York over here.
Yo, I missed the. I used to go to the Dominican Republic, man, and I used to.
Really?
I actually felt like one of them because I was walking around in the neighborhoods and shit. They thought I was Dominican, you know.
You never know.
Blend right
The
in.
blackest person I ever knew in my life. His name was Spooky. Well, they probably gave him
That
a
is
name.
some racist shit.
Hey, that
Yo,
was
let's
his goddamn
hey.
show. Shout out to
Let's
Spooky.
bleep
Emerson Heights,
that out.
Union
Let's
City, New
bleep that
Jersey.
out.
Spooky, no.
God
Spooky
damn.
Spooky was
goddamn,
black
man.
as fuck
Spooky.
and unapologetically black, and he was not black. He was Cuban. So that tell you.
Me no black. Me no black.
He was black.
Yeah, don't ever call
Cuban.
Dominican black. They'll beat your ass.
Me no
Yo,
black.
I know, right?
When
Yo,
I go
shout out
to
to
DR,
Feta,
when
you'll
I
be
go to
proud
DR,
of
I
me.
say the same thing. Me no black.
Me no black. Me don't say that. No Milano. Hey. But yeah, Fatal the one trained me in being a real collector. So that's why I'm able to speak as a real collector now. So like shout out to Fatal, the original gatekeeper.
And Fatal, I really miss. Let me tell you something. I hate to, because I know we're gonna move on to the show, but I just want to say I miss the old days of how the lineup was. I miss Cool Nerd Lounge because it was all of us together. You know what I'm saying? I miss all those days. I always loved my Tuesdays with Casual. I miss the days with DCX on Fridays with Thor. You know what I'm saying? I really miss those days, man. But I want to shout out.
Zebra Meat 101 is saying, how come you always stop short of saying John the Everyday Collector? Do you miss him or are you scared of him?
Put that question on the thing.
No, it's from a write-in.
God damn.
What was the question? What was the question?
It was like, how come you never mentioned John the Everyday Collector? You guys used to be cool.
I do. I take shots at him all the time.
They miss you and his banter, and they want to know, are you guys gonna make up?
I miss the old days with John. We used to have plenty of fun with John.
You had fun, right?
Listen. You know what I'm saying? Even though I refuse to watch his shows, I don't watch none of his bullshit ass shows anymore. But I miss.
Why is that, Precious?
Just to be spiteful.
Hold on. We got a question.
Because.
We got a major question.
Go ahead.
Question for President Rasheed. Do you miss the days with Vision?
On the CLC.
This is my brother. I miss Vision. You know what I'm saying?
Would you ever have? I don't know if this is Vision or not, but it's named Visions Express. He asked, will you ever have your Vision back as a permanent member of the CLC if he would want to be?
Hell no.
So let's not get ridiculous.
Let me tell you what I would do with Vision. I would continue him as an intern that he is, but I would never hire his ass.
So you just give him free labor, just sort of like.
How else are Crippler, Critical Mass, and AK and me going
Raleigh,
up?
North Carolina represent.
You know what I'm saying?
Breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Billy Rios.
the
Oh
man, the myth, the
got
legend, Billy Rios himself. One of the people that is believed just like me that chatting and collaborating and communicating is key.
Crippler, look at that statement he's making.
All right, hold on.
Oh, let's see. I didn't even read the statement yet. But let's
Hold
see.
on.
Shout out to Billy
Hold
Rios
on.
being on the bridge.
Hold on. Now see, Billy boy.
You made the president boy you. He sent you right now.
Always know one thing. Do never let me know certain secrets when you try to disrespect the president. I would like to inform.
Exclusive.
I would like to inform that Billy's son is trying out for the Major League Baseball teams. He's practicing.
Oh shit!
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going Jock.
And
Jock is
then
not
you're
allowed in
going
this
to
hobby,
and
bro.
then and look, I was going to help see if I could get a play with the Yankees for his son, but since he made that statement about my check bouncing, and you embarrassed me, maybe I'll take his bottom of his application and
sweat it down. So are you saying that you participate and pay to play?
No. His son is definitely good pitcher. Definitely good pitcher. You know what I'm saying? So, but my thing is that,
little Billy Rios.
It's not what you know is not what you know is who you know.
So wait a minute, this goes deeper.
But wait a minute, I need to know.
So you
part of the fan
submitted an application to the Rogues Gallery
I am no fan club. You know who I am? All right, let me ask you a question. What was remember Firefly? Was it Firefly? Was Firefly a Cobra villain or was he a mercenary?
This is a question for Shane the Dark Lord.
Could he be both?
No, he was mercenary.
Yeah,
he
only worked. He was a mercenary before
he only worked. He only worked when he got paid. He worked for Cobra, but he worked when he got paid. The Batman statue collector, they paid me to promote them. But if I don't get paid, I don't promote.
The check. That's why the check didn't.
Exactly.
Wait. So wait. Why is he insinuating that you paying him?
Exactly.
This is
fake news.
Fake news. Let me tell you guys something about the BBC, guys. The BBC is one of those organizations that if you cross them, they will crush you. They will grind you into the dirt.
Eric C. Rias.
You see how big freaking Eric B is?
Shout out to you too, brother. But Crippler's not the only one. I represent Chapel Hill, North Carolina. My parents, born and raised Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Hill. And I will be in North Carolina June trying to get renew my driver's license.
Yo, and y'all will see us live in the same area. Probably doing
you may have to pick Crip. You may have to pick me up from the train station.
Hey, you tell me the time and
Durham.
day.
You know what I'm saying?
Durham.
So, yeah.
Got you. Consider it done.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jimmy in the motherfucking building. Shout out to Godlike statue. Hey, and that's another problem I have with these statue shows that popping up. Godlike means you godlike and everybody under you. How are we going to compete? If y'all godlike, what are we? Think about that. What's higher than, Celestials maybe? I don't even know if Celestials are higher. It's hard. Y'all making it hard for us.
Like I said, I want to put out there who's gonna be the first one to do a Vampire Hunter D statue, by the way.
Oh, Anthony Mestas is gonna do it, but not for Sideshow. It's gonna be a side project.
Please don't say his name, because if you say his name, he pops up.
Oh, he's popping up tonight. We got some behind the scenes. Look at Loki, Riddler, La Muerte.
What?
The Witch. He's gonna share some tidbits about that and some dope pictures.
He's gonna pop up and it's gonna pop off.
See, there you go. See, Rasheed was right. You say his name, he pops up.
Say his name. You whacking kind of crazy. Baby. Why this sudden, ladies and gentlemen?
It's like Bloody Mary and Candyman. And now you have Anthony Mestas.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right. We if anybody got anything to talk about on this serious tariff topic, any last questions for our president before we move the song along?
No, we're moving along.
We're moving along. I would like to thank the president for sitting down with COC News and giving the people reassurance that the hobby's in great hands. As you can see, the recap, we can potentially do slavery again, but if it's done with a lot,
what the fuck?
It's got to be done with a gentler hand. You know what I mean? But it could be done again, and it's for people like Buck and the BBC mostly, because why waste that labor? Waste that labor. You got to understand, like, we have growth based off that's still benefiting from this day. So if we bring it back, we could get past these tariffs.
That's what I said.
Find the right people.
Put those homeless people to work.
I think it could be beautiful. I think it could be great.
That's an untapped resource.
Yeah, see, hell yeah. President Rasheed, you got my vote. See, this is what I want. I mean, you know what I mean? Captain Gemini tried to run, and where have you heard? You haven't heard him since he lost the freaking race. He hasn't been trying to help. We're here trying to help the community make sure that we gatekeep collecting at the very peak and keep it what it was meant to be at its core, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, thank you for joining us, Mr. President. Anchorman AK and Donovan Fitzgerald, whatever the fuck your name was, Critical Mass.
What is it? Someone in the chat call him Dark Cat.
Dante St. Clair.
If
Dante St. Clair, yeah.
Dante St. Clair, thank you for joining us today, Dante St. Clair. And if for anybody who took any of this shit serious tonight, it's a joke. We're just having fun. It's just like I'm not trying to have tariff conversations every week.
Ass Alabamans.
Yeah, because everybody been doing it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
and it's
is cool because it is very important.
But honestly, though, in serious honesty, though, there's nothing on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like I see people trying to keep the hobby alive with the content and everything, but it's so dead, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's so dead, bro. And everybody's trying, but so dead.
I think the gist of everything is right now is like everybody knows their own situation.
Yeah.
Just plan for your situation. That's the only thing you could do. Like everybody knows how to handle their own situation and their money and what they got to do. The situation is rough. You know what you got to do.
I think
you don't need nobody to tell you what to do.
I think the smart thing to do is like, because is it true that they did put a halt on some of these factories? Is that true?
That's the thing. They paused it for 90 days except for China, and they actually raised China to 140%, I believe it is.
No, I thought it was 155.
Yeah, that's it's 145 now, right?
Oh fuck.
So they're gonna continue to do thing. This is bigger than our hobby. It's hitting everything. So it's just you guys gotta do what's best for you guys. Like I'm not here to tell anybody. Y'all should know as grown adults collecting this stuff how to plan for situations.
Well, quick question. Like I said, I know we're gonna end talking about tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about the companies now? Because I don't think people will be eating. And the funny thing is, the reason why
let's go down the list. That's a great question. Let's go down the list.
Because I'm still looking for the XM Maestro, and I don't even think XM, even though XM is in a different problem other than the tariffs, I don't even think they finished their batches yet, and I think the XM Maestro is going to be a hard piece to find now.
So I mentioned that I canceled my pre-orders. That's only because I was struggling to have faith that they could bring it to market in a normal climate. I have no faith that they're going to bring anything to market in the new climate. So what I did for my own situation was I was fortunate enough to be able to get my money back. Like, period. I was very patient. I didn't want to do it. But at the end of the day, under normal circumstances, I'll ride out with you. But in these situations where now, even if you do bring it to market, it might sit over somewhere for a very long time. And I'm just like, I'm not waiting another year, let alone 2 years, let alone 3 years, let alone till this whole thing washes out with them just sitting on my money like that. And that is a situation that I was in. That's what I did was best for my personal situation. I'm not telling anybody else to do it, but I know for me, you can only hold on to my money for a certain amount of time. And I'm very, very lenient. Like I was very, very patient, but at a certain point, the patience become like insanity because you just expecting, and I just didn't feel that. No matter how much I want it, I don't feel that they, as a company right now, is a company that I trust to hold on to my money while these tariff situations are going on. And then so for XM, I like, as much as I like them, I don't know how they survived this. I'm not predicting doom and gloom from them. I just don't see a situation where what they have left, that they get to market, and then it gets to market, and then it's very difficult to bring it. Because the last thing I want is like, okay, you waited this long, and now you got to spend $1,000 to get it over here. Like, that's not happening. As far as J&D, You guys got anything on XM before we move? We'll just go down the list and see. Like, I don't think my personal best guess is XM is gonna struggle through this. I don't know if they close. I don't know what that looks like. I just know that.
I don't know. It looks like Archangel's suffering right now.
Archangel is suffering. Poor Archangel. Like, huh? I'm hoping the tariffs end soon. The shipping on my sex. You know what? And that's what people forget. Like, it's not about these statues all the time, dude. There are people like sex addicts that demand they
paid extra for the rooted hair.
And he got the rooted hair one too.
Wow.
Yo, like, I no, honestly, I am.
That's real.
So like, I think most people here are very satisfied and happy with their collection. Like if the whole thing burns down, like right now, we got some of the baddest statues like on the market. So then we'll open up CLC Collectibles, and then you can buy some of our badass statues from us at a markdown price.
Yeah. No. All of a sudden, my Batman Samurai goes up in price again.
There you go. So what do you think? What do you think about XM Critical Mass? How did they get out?
You know, it's really. I'm pretty much going to repeat what a lot of people have been saying. It's sad that they're in the mess that they're in, and then with the climate, with the tariffs, and it just is the worst time. And you got to wonder how can a company like that comes back. I mean, they were already reeling, and I'm concerned about is Prime One, because as you know, I put the pre-order for that quarter scale Superman Hush, and I'm going to be making payments on it, and I know the Japan, their tariffs got hit with 24%, but mine's is on the slow boat, and I'm hearing that the slow boat gets around that custom fees. So hopefully, the economy shipping.
Yeah. Well, they're saying now he's changing the rules on that so that the slow boat, is going to get hit.
Oh. That's the thing.
Like people like those companies like Shein and all that other shit, those smaller packages, they're no longer going to be subjected to that low rate. They're going to get hit with a high rate as well.
So we're going to see what's going to happen.
What about you, Kizzle? You can pick any company. Like, are you worried about us? Which company are you worried about the most right now? Surviving the tariff situation.
J&D.
And they're the ones that said that they are matching. I mean, they're
lowering their MSRPs to make up, but I don't know how that will help.
How that's going?
Yeah, that just tells me how much marked up these statues are.
Yeah,
yeah. Like, what the?
You can lower them that much, and it's like, wait a minute.
You could have done that last year.
You could have did that last year.
It's a business. Profiter is going to profit. Yo, Darth Rashid, any company that you worried about? Let me guess, Sideshow.
I ain't worried about no goddamn Sideshow. But the
Mestas might lose his job. You don't want that to happen.
I don't know about it.
I don't want XM to lose their job neither. But look what the fuck has happened.
Yeah.
You know
Didn't XM just show off a statue earlier this week? I think on their Facebook page.
But you know what though? It's just I don't want to see nobody lose their job. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just a messed up situation. You know what I'm saying? Like we witnessing history here of all this shit happening. Of course, it's gonna come to an end. You know, but everything's gonna come to an end. But in the end, our company's gonna be standing. You know, because I like I said, and I stand by it. I liked it when there was a bunch of companies there because I like the competition. You know what I'm saying?
I like see the private chat?
No, not yet.
What they say?
Anthony Mestas said, "Hey, I better not lose my job, Rasheed."
Listen, motherfucker, you voted. I didn't vote, motherfucker. So you voted for this shit.
Bring him in. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Latinos for Trump! Latinos for Trump! That was you, Anthony. So don't get mad at me if you lose your motherfucking job, motherfucker. Nah, I don't want to see nobody lose their job though. You know what I'm saying? You know, not even Sideshow. I like Sideshow, but let's keep it real. Wasn't it beautiful like in 2019 when the XM was at its peak? Sideshow was doing their thing and everything else. You know, I want to see competition, because when there's one company getting everything, you know, it's just, I like to see competition, and I'm praying that XM comes back. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I pray that XM come back, and I think XM is going to sell the company, and they're going to start back over, whatever, and then hire some good artists and shit. You know, because they never remember. They still haven't come out with the Galvatron. They haven't come out with the Iron Man. They haven't come out, you know what I'm saying? So,
cool. So Cypher says, with J&D, how do you know that they are not just lowering their profit revenue, taking a hit? Because I don't know for a fact, but I don't know either way. If I had to guess, which all this is speculation and guess, because nobody's in their boardrooms or know. I'm pretty sure there's a very good sizable profit, because you want to be, for a healthy business, you want to make sure that you make it a healthy profit. And if you're a business that are on top of your shit, you got enough to make great profits, and if something like this happens, still make good profits or decent profit. But there's no, I'm going to take a hit and go broke, because they're not selling this for even. So if they sell it for $1 more, it's a profit. So trust me when I say it's not getting close to their bottom line where they are taking a hit on they don't make money taking hits, like, period. Like, that just doesn't happen. Glass Joe in the building. Yo, all my statues are coming from Glass Joe in the future. He's just gonna be like, yo, print this for me, and then scope this for me. Thank you. There we go.
Glass Joe, are you doing 1/4? Are you doing 1/4 statues, or just 1/5 size statues?
I'm just kidding. I don't think it's that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. Your vision says, if they would have went live and said we're marking down the J&D guts by 300, then believe them. There you go. Real question: why didn't XM and Sideshow do a collaboration like Prime One did back in the day? I don't know if Anthony's going to be on, but I don't know if he's at liberty to talk about that aspect of it. But
when's he coming on? He's coming on here?
Coming on right now.
Oh, there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up finally for Anthony Mestas in the building.
Before he says anything, just know that you got a panel of people. We don't want to hear you all goddamn day to the end of the night of the show.
Man, take that sock off your mouth. I can't hear you.
Say, I can't help it.
Hold on.
This is how I rob your ass. This is how I rob your ass. Okay.
I know right away.
If you see that in California, you know it's Rasheed.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Straight up, 100% pure shield mode activated. Yeah, put that shit. Put that shield mode.
Wow.
Wave that flag. Wave that flag.
Put that bullshit down, man.
Who that man?
If you put that over your TLC shirt, I will fire your ass.
All right.
I will. Damn, man, you a D rider. Damn, you a D rider.
This is not the BBC. Yo,
all right.
I didn't think Critical's nose could get any browner than what it is.
Welcome.
We're talking.
Yeah, so as you can see, we're trying to make sure that the community stays gated properly. I think we run into that.
There he goes. Look at that. Showing the Superman.
But now we're gonna just talk about some statue goodness.
Critical, you're not gonna get bonus reward points from Mestas. All right, stop it.
Yeah.
AK, since you're security, can we I think he needs to be disciplined for his deriding of Sideshow.
Oh, definitely. I think we gotta put him on timeout.
Why you gonna hate, Rasheed? Why you gonna hate?
Man, shut your punk ass up.
You know why?
Why you gonna hate? Why you gonna hate?
Look at that.
Now watch ODB start talking about his time he scored the Sideshow
fire.
Sideshow is not the best. It's one of the best.
I can't wait to talk about what I designed.
Yeah. That's what we really want to know. What you got, Anthony?
Yo, Anthony. I was like, yo, I was like, hey, you want to just like hang out? Like, don't need to bring anything or nothing like that. Just we just hang out. He said, but I got some stuff, and I said, I will not deny you. He's like, dude.
Please share.
I don't want to just sit here and listen to Rasheed. I got to.
Oh damn!
I don't want to hear your ass either, because every time you
Yeah.
talk and run your mouth. I don't want to talk to you either, motherfucker.
Yeah, and Anthony, backstage, Cripple and I were talking. I know you shared a few things with me, which I haven't told anybody. I was wondering, we're gonna see some of that tonight.
No, I mean, I don't know. Mainly the stuff that I sent to Crippler was, I figured if I was going to be on here, I could at least, and like Rasheed was saying earlier, it's like content on all, I pop into all these different shows and watching. I like listening to it and all and seeing everybody's chit chat, but it's all the same across the board. Nobody's bringing anything new to it.
You want to bring some?
I wouldn't say it's new, but at least it's a different, stuff that nobody else has, which is basically some images of pieces that are coming out that have already been announced and up for pre-order and stuff. But it's more of like a behind the scenes, just showing like the raw sculpt, the digital file, the raw sculpts at which I hope the picture should be in like a nice high res.
Yeah.
You're in, so just a little eye candy people can look at, whether they like the pieces or hate on the pieces, whatever. They could at least see what's gone into them on the front end as far as the details and whatnot. So,
which is awesome. Like I said too, just more about like, hey, when talking about like shows and content, because I even hate the word content like that. But also, like, how could we bring something that's just more statue related about pieces that people are already going to buy? Not necessarily sell people on it, but just like, yo, if you're buying this, here is some cool tidbits.
As much as much as Rasheed and I joke around, but I agree with him when he says nobody's bringing anything new. Like, I'll chime into those shows, and
I told you he'd be watching. I told you Sasha.
I watch them all because you know why I watch them now? Because I know Rasheed's spreading propaganda behind doors. And every show I go on,
I guess a Cad Bane just happened to pop up all of a sudden. After two Cad Banes were made, all of a sudden Sasha wants to make a Cad.
Got him, folks.
To be honest,
I guess. Hold on, because you on my show. I guess a Thrawn was made after Thrawn was made in the. Usually you guys would have made a Thrawn standing up, but all of a sudden you got a Thrawn on throne after Thrawn on throne was already made.
What is he supposed to be doing?
And I'm going to tell you, are you an artist, Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, I'm an artist.
Yes.
So all artists check out other artists' work. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
All right then. So don't run that bullshit that Sideshow is not watching customs in other groups.
There's a difference.
I said, and you can go back to the other shows.
There's a difference.
You guys be watching customs. I said that.
I watch
and
them.
I stand by that message. You told me we don't watch nobody.
No, I said we don't copy anybody.
There you go.
I saw that Cad Bane in process.
Shut up, Critical Mass. Your words don't count. You're D-Rod.
Oh, they count.
All right.
Oh, they count. Oh, yes.
But dude, Anthony, I appreciate you hopping
true,
on in this hostile environment.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But
I feed off. It makes me stronger.
You're not the emperor. You're not the emperor, man. You don't make you stronger. Shut up.
Yeah. So where do we want to
It makes
start?
me strong, man.
How about Riddler? Riddler?
Sure. But whatever you want to pop up. We go.
Let's do it. Because
Riddler?
I know there was.
Nobody's ever done a Riddler before, so I want to make sure this one comes.
That actually is not true. Custom has made a Riddler. Thank you.
Custom.
Iron Studios did Riddler.
What? I thought we were the first ones.
Customs don't count.
You know we made the first Riddler comic book too, right?
What?
Sideshow was the originators of the Riddler comic book.
I bet y'all didn't know. And also,
Show me documentation. Show me documentation.
Global warming.
I'm showing you right now.
Yes, send him.
Talk to us about Riddler, because is this something you guys always wanted to do but was skeptical or nervous? Or why Riddler? Why now?
I always wanted us to do Riddler. Now, I'm not making the sole decisions over here as far as everything goes. There's a whole lot of cogs in the machine. And every time I used to bring up, hey, let's do Riddler, let's do Penguin, we don't think it's going to be, it's not a top tier seller or whatever it may be. And my thing was always, how do you know that if we've never done it? So eventually we found the place to where it's like, all right, get one into development, start this, because believe it or not, much as nobody wants to believe, it takes a couple years to get these things to where they need to be to get out on the market. As much as Rasheed wants to think they're just popping them out after we watch a collector show or whatever it may be. But anyway, so we finally had the opportunity to do the Riddler. And of course, we were doing, you have to look at some of these pieces and go, we don't want to do what other people have done. Let's do, how can we do it different? And we had been doing a darker kind of version, a little bit more edgier version. And this is what we came up with. Some people like it. Some people want, every time when this thing hit, there was a group of, there was people that liked it. Some people wanted Jim Carrey. Some people wanted the OG, like a 60s style. I mean, everybody has their take on it. Some thought it looked like, whomever. Some didn't like the eyes.
Whoever
told you they wanted a Jim Carrey, man, y'all some Zepti motherfuckers.
You ain't lying. I agree with that. So
riddle me this, riddle me that.
And so this is what we came up with. And this head right here, we even had originally, we had went with like that was some skin around his eye. And then there, some people were just like, the mask should come up to the eye. I was like, I could get behind that, so we had altered it a little bit, and it's very soft. All it does.
We got one of your fans, Anthony Dennis Perez. He's another sideshow rider.
So it comes up to his eye, the mask, but we still went with the white kind of eyes. But like you're saying, it resembles Defoe, and it kind of has that Defoe kind of esque look.
Yeah, this Riddler came out pretty good though.
Yeah,
on that one.
Yeah. I think this. I mean, it looks great. I've seen the pieces from the factory and stuff, and it came out pretty awesome. So,
does it have a lighter feature?
What was that?
Does it have a lighter feature on this one?
No. We were talking about it, and we didn't go with any light up feature, just because once again, we were starting to light a bunch of stuff up. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. It's Ghost Rider was the one that kind of was where we went all out on it, and it kicked the price up pretty significant, and then people freaked out about the price. So it's one of those things where you have to go, does it justify lighting? Because if we lit this up, it would be the TV screen and maybe the detonator around the barrel. So we were like, I don't know if it's worth engineering lights into that whole thing just for that. So we opted to not do the lights on that piece, but it is cool. It has presence. I know they were working on some kind of like little Easter egg feature, which I don't want to give away because I don't know if they went with it.
Okay.
As far as paint goes, but it'd be fun if it goes through production that way. But I mean, so there you go. I mean, like I said, you could look at it if you zoom in, you can see all the details, whatever. All the little wires and textures, and these are the reason I like showing these gray digital images is because they're stripped down of all the paint, And I've always said, being a painter, I've always said painting is like the icing on the cake. You could either, make something look really good, or you could kind of botch it. But when it's with no paint, you really get to see the sculpt shine through everything and all the detail that goes into it. Because a lot of times,
lying. Like, look at this here, the way that the pants they crease here, and then they get all tore up because they scrape.
If you look at the texture in the pants, to be able to get the pinstripes on those pants, they're actually raised slightly so the paint could kind of dry brush and wisp along the top and pick up those lines. Because if you engraved them in, then they kind of look like little engravings, and then you have to run like a wash or a glaze or pin wash up through the lines, and it could get sloppy. This allows us to get kind of like a light, just the ever so light texture to the piece. I mean, the socks are textured. There's a lot going on there, and all that stuff, you know, gets put in on the front end into the sculpt. So I like to showcase, you know, the work that goes in from the sculptors that did this. And this was Maria that sculpted this one.
Maria, shout out to Maria.
Maria did one, and she did some of the smaller like Batman and Catwoman and Gambit.
I'm over here looking at the shoes and like, yo, these are stylish shoes. Yeah, I'm like, yo, I like the off to the side.
He's got like some
I ain't mad at the shoes.
Yeah.
Look at all of this stuff. Look at the back.
But even like on his ankle, you see how it's kind of bony and
yeah, all in here.
You know, there's thought given on all of this stuff. You know, it's just not phoned in like some people. I mean, look at the heel. The heel is leather, just like on a real shoe with stacked leather, you know, the heel and
layered and stitched, and the transitionings have no gaps, because that is a pet peeve. It looks really, really, really good.
He's rocking Stacey Adams or something. In there.
Yeah, I like the little dents in there.
I love Stacey Adams.
Yep.
Look at this, like it reveals the skin too. I never noticed that.
Yeah. And there were some people that were like, why is he so beat up and everything? But I mean, that's part of bringing some.
Yo, because I'll fuck Riddler up if he comes.
Yeah, it brings some character into him, brings some visual storytelling. You know.
Yo, he riddled the wrong mofo.
Riddler's like, riddle this.
Riddler's not playing that, you know. So.
I was listening to BSC, Batman Statue Collector, and they were talking about the tactical Batman from Prime and how they want to put decals on the screen, because when there's nothing on them, like if they were actually functioning and then you turn them off, they don't look good. You know what I mean? It feels like they'd rather have it like really off.
And that's how, because this one, since we didn't light it up, if you look, you know, like on the site in the images, it looks like there's static going on the monitor. That's all a decal. So it's like, but it looks like the TV's on, you know, as opposed to being backlit.
Right. I think it's cool, because I think that just solved the problem.
Yeah. And you have that smooth surface, so you can get a decal on there, real nice.
Yeah, but even like all of the knobs and the wires that has tape on it.
Yep, all the detonation stuff and the wires. And then in the final one, it has, you don't see them on here, but it has chains that wrap around and kind of tie everything together, keeping everything together. But since in production, you know, whenever you do chains, it's always a pain in the ass, because you can't mold and cast chains because they're, you know, individual links. You would have to fill the link and glue it, and then you lose the drape of the chain. So usually what we do, if we do chains, we'd source a plastic or metal chain. So they'll actually be real chains in there, so they'll drape
around it.
Usually we go plastic, because if you go metal, as much as everybody likes metal, the reality of it is that metal will rub over time, or if you move it around, or it might discolor the paint or whatever it may be. Plus they're bitch, you can't really paint them. You know, you'd wind up with a chrome chain or a copper chain, but if you got a plastic chain, you could get in there and weather it up and stuff.
Gotcha. This is pause real quick, because we have E-Man asking Anthony, any word on Man-Bat?
Man-Bat's being painted right now in-house. So Man-Bat's a little ways off. We have it. It's went through the factories and has been molded and everything. But the way we did it this time, because we bounce back and forth sometimes on how we paint. Sometimes we paint a 3D print that we have here at in-house. Because we'll take it, we'll get a jump on production and get it into production and have them do all the engineering and casting and everything, and send us back a casting from production that we end up painting on, and then it goes back to China. So basically we're painting on a sample that's already been engineered and cast in the proper clears and everything else. So right now, Man-Bat paint just started on that like 2 days ago. So
There you go. Quick update on the man bat. It is being painted in house.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people been waiting for a man bat.
yeah, that's another one. It was always the villains. It was Penguin, Riddler, and Man Bat were the ones I was always like, why aren't we doing these? Because I like all the creepier, darker kind of stuff. And Man
And now
Bat.
you got all three. Now you got not all of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
now
there's
Riddler
a
is the
few
one.
I talk about that are already done.
That's-
and it's like it's gonna be. I wish I could share some of the stuff that we've already had.
I can't be. It's so like I know you. Like I know it's just sort of like the stuff that you want to share, but you
I know.
absolutely.
Yeah, because
can't.
I usually want, I really want to share it because when I see the shows and they go, not to beat a dead horse, but when they go Sideshow's copying and they see shit, I'm like, motherfuckers, we've had this thing in the works for well over a year, but I can't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Right. You got to keep the rap.
In the meantime, somebody who's doing an unlicensed piece, hey, they could be inspired off of a comic book or have an idea, and they end up doing it, and it'll come out way before ours will come out, even if we started it 2 years ago. But on the periphery, from the collector's end of it, they're going to look at it and go, they're going to see it for what it's worth. When it hits, it's going to hit before ours.
But the thing is, people are going to say what people are going to say. The thing is, being able to just have the character where people can purchase it.
Well, now you have two. You have one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just sort of like
you have the good one that Sideshow's.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You got, like I
and the crappy one that Rasheed bought.
I didn't say that, but
yo, he's shooting, son.
He's a sideshow. Really? Yo, listen, I don't reply to sideshow D riders. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I didn't know how much stuff Rasheed has of sideshows in his collection. I would be talking.
Oh, he got a lot. I
know.
Friendly says sideshow takes a while.
Yeah. Let's go there. Let's go there. I do have a lot of stuff for sideshow, and I have been supporting sideshow for years. That's why you don't do the smack in the face and then make a 1/5 mythos statues and then come out with it a couple of months later with 1/4 with a lighter feature, and you slap your customers in the face. Hold on, I gotta get this out.
So awesome.
Get it off your chest, because
and then you come out with 1/4 Darth Vader mythos with a lighter feature when you could have did that for all your customers.
They look so good.
Oh, and in the name of that idiot Buck Fangs from the Broke Boys, be careful how you treat your customers. You know what I'm saying? Because when you guys go down, I'm gonna be rooting for you.
I know. Yeah.
Hey, how much respect do you have for Thor Gunderson of DCA?
Well, me a lot. He put me in the game. Right? He brought me into the game.
He's one of those legends, right?
He's a legend, definitely. Thor's a legend, man.
Would you be pissed if he was not able to get a 1/5 version of Ventress, but really wanted a 1/4?
No, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I'm not mad at anybody getting anything. I'm not a hater.
Aren't you happy that our brother Thor Gunderson
no. Listen to me.
Can purchase this Ventress?
I'm happy for everybody that gets the 1/4. Like I wanted the 1/4, but I spent my money with these motherfuckers. So now
it's personal.
Now it's personal. You're right. It's personal because if I got so much side, look at my background, and he knows these ain't cheap. These life size ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying?
I painted that carbonite just in case. I designed and painted that.
All right, so then this motherfucker this was
you gotta mess this. You gotta mess this. mess this in your collection, son.
So man, let me spit on it. Nah, let me mess this. So he knows this is car payment. So if I got 3 life size in my collection from Sideshow, you know what I'm saying, and I am a loyal customer to Sideshow. Even if I buy custom to X and everything else, you don't do your customers like that. You definitely don't go and be in the chat and say it's business. That's not cool, man. That's not.
But it is business at the end of the day. I mean,
It's
I don't
business,
own the.
but
I don't
let
own
me
the
ask you a
company.
question. No, I understand that, but is that fair? Can we be
But
honest? Can we
But
say
there's a bunch of other people that don't see
no?
it that
But
way.
no.
Mhm.
Don't dance with me.
Mhm.
Is that fair?
Mhm.
If I wanted the 1/4 as well, and you guys came out with it later on, is that fair? And hold on. I know some people in chat gonna say Rashi says hold on a million
Hold
times.
on.
I'm gonna say it. I'm still gonna say it. DC. You come out with it, and then you say sold, and then you come out with the
I
1/4.
can't help you.
Hold
You
on.
Chose the V6 and not the V8.
Listen, do not play that sideshow. Do not play that sideshow Jedi mind trick shit with me. Then you
Not my
say
fault.
sold.
You don't want the Hemi.
Then you say sold.
People
and then
sell
you
their
come
cars
out with
all the time and get the bigger.
See,
get
now
the
you trying
big
to talk
block.
over me. Now listen, y'all. This
Get
when
the fast
somebody
one.
when you catch somebody in a lie or some
Get the
bullshit,
fast
they
one.
try to talk over you.
Exactly.
Then you say sold on your company, and then come out with the 1/4 and say,
my
"Oh, we
company.
came out with this." That's not good. That's not good. That's not good business, though. It's not good business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would hate to tell my followers
I'll agree to disagree with you.
to boycott Sideshow. I would hate to do that.
Tell all
Sheet
two
Empire.
I would hate to go to Cali, and I will go to Cali because I go to
Tell all
Cali.
two of your followers, Rasheed, to boycott us. Talk about Rasheed's followers.
Oh man, the Instagram models.
The Sheet faction.
Those ones.
Listen, hoes got to vote too. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
That's right.
Yep. That's
Methany's come far.
All right.
Shut
Shout
your
out
ass
to
up,
shout out
Critical.
to the shout out to the homie Thor Gunderson who hit me up.
Matter of fact, I don't even trust you, Critical Mass, because you was in their
trust you,
backyard. You was in their backyard, so I don't even trust you,
We
bro.
don't trust you because you don't agree with Rasheed. That's why he don't
You
trust
goddamn right. You goddamn right. If you don't agree with me, I don't
You
trust
want
you.
me to be a
Goddamn
yes
right.
man, Rasheed?
What?
You want me to be a yes man?
You off a sideshow?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That's what he
I
wants.
like Sideshow. Sideshow's on fire.
You don't have to
There are other places
repress
that
your love
Sideshow.
of Sideshow because Rasheed says so. Critical Mass, and Rasheed doesn't have to agree with you. It's all
Rasheed
good.
needs, Rasheed needs to give me his shirt size so I can send him some Sideshow gear.
Yo, would you wear Sideshow gear if he gave it to you, Darth Rashidi? Like if he sent you some Sideshow gear?
Whenever I'm painting my house, I will wear that shit.
Would you wear it live?
But I would never wear that logo on my chest. Never.
What if it has a little teeny tiny one 1/5 figure on it?
Never.
What if it has your favorite, the best artist rendition of Darth Vader?
Never.
All right, back to the homie Riddler. So yeah, you guys landed like when you guys did the Penguin, you guys had an art style that was it wasn't Arkham, but it was more Arkham than it was like cartoony or early comic books.
Right.
And so
and that was kind of one of the reasons we used Maria to do those pieces, because we wanted to keep her style consistent in the piece. You know, if we would have gave Riddler to somebody else and she'd already established Penguin, there wouldn't have been that stylistic consistency that kind of follows through on that. So
yeah, no, I think that's what I appreciate personally of the villains you guys got coming out is that if this Riddler would have been shiny, bright green suit Riddler,
right? Yeah,
the people who brought the Penguin, they would have complained either way. So I
think they weren't in the same world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been different. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you have characters that are so intertwined in the storylines and the mythos of the comics and stuff, you'd want them to look kind of.
Oh man, if I always
because here's the thing. It's not like we're going to be doing Riddlers like we do Batmans or Wolverines or anything like that. I mean, the Riddler is going to be coming around every once in a blue moon, not every time you turn around, because there's just not that want for there isn't anybody banging down doors for multiple Riddlers, so to speak. So
yeah, no, like that's what's cool about this is just sort of like there is a cohesiveness to the villains that you guys got coming out. So I appreciate that aspect of it for sure. And
they look good when they're together, on the shelf next to each other. Yeah.
Yep. So anything you want to leave us with the Riddler before we move on to some other?
Nah, I mean, go ahead. G, you could keep on going.
All right, let's go to this one right here.
Right here.
Right here. Right here. Look at this.
So this one, yeah.
This came out of nowhere, bro. I'm like, who is this? What
it even came out of nowhere as far as I was, I was like La Muerta. I never even heard of the comic book, and it was just something that, because we had worked with doing some of the other characters like Purgatory and Lady Death and everything. It all kind of runs under the same realm, and it was like because I think it switched over. It was like Dynamite, and then it went to Coffin Comics. Before that, it was Chaos, but it was still the characters that carried over into the licensing. So it was like La Muerta. And then once I was like, I'm all about this. This is gonna be a cool figure. So,
even
we
though
decided.
I'm not into this character, the coffin and everything, I think this is dope.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the character, but I think that the way the guys set up the coffin and
right.
I really like. That's one thing I said about Sideshow. I'm liking that they're doing kind of like bases, because not to compare with the XM, but this is something that XM may have done also, and I like that Sideshow is adding more depth and a lot of big, their bases. I like their bases. Like the Riddler has like a nice base. I like how they have the Mystique. I like how base. But because it tells more of a story than
exactly.
I didn't like the last Mystique, even though that was a nice one. The base was just small, but I feel like just because you have a big base and tell a story, that it doesn't take away from the statue. So this the way she's coming out of this coffin is dope.
Yeah. Thanks. That's one that, because you see that in some of the artwork, and then when we did the 2D design. Could we make it work? Years ago, we did an Elvira that was very similar, years and years and years ago, where she was stepping out of a coffin, and so we knew that we could pull it off. So it was the tricky thing is that if she's coming out of a coffin and her arms are out like that, you got to make sure the coffin's going to have to get tilted back, because if not, her arms are going to be hitting the coffin.
The back of the coffin is dope.
There's a lot of weird shit,
and it looked real nice. I saw that,
and I think if this was sold, I guarantee you, if this was like being sold like at in the West Coast, like I forgot the events they be having, especially with the lowrider.
Yeah. I mean,
this is like
whole Day of the Dead kind of.
I don't see Day of the Dead. I see like, I don't know. I see like remember even though to me the movie sucked, Colombiana. I would like to see this character like she was like maybe like beat down, and then she comes back revenge.
Well, that's kind of what this is, because I had to look at the character because I wasn't familiar, and it's basically a lot of people are like
a Punisher,
female Punisher. She's basically like a female Punisher except Latina. So she comes back. She's like military. She finds out, I think her family's killed by like, drug cartel. So she comes back to take revenge, So she's really is like a female Punisher, but it's the whole Latin kind of, but it is, Day of the Dead. It is Dia de los Muertos, because I think in the comic book, she kind of, has her altars up, and she's, that's the whole bottom of the base is like an altar from, Dia de los Muertos, where they kind of honor the dead, and so she's coming back to take her revenge, so
this piece is something that motivates me to want to discover more about this character. It's very striking imagery, but also like if I'm talking just statue, like the way that the wax is pouring off of the candle and onto the base is freaking so dope. And then you guys got the little
if you get
details.
So it has like you see like a lot of like the mariachis and like all the conchos from on like the mariachi suits on the side of the legs, and so it has that whole, it's very strong, and the Virgin Mary on the back, except this is the angel of death in the back, so it has the skeleton head, and then it has the guns with the smoke coming up, and
she's got that washboard stomach with them hips.
And let's talk about the assets. They're on point.
It's because Mark Newman sculpted her, and Mark Newman knows his way.
Shout out to Mark Newman.
I think we've talked about it in the past where
he understands women.
He does. He understands what we want.
And compositionally, it was trying to get her to come out of the coffin and have the coffin the right size, but to also have that carved piece around her, kind of creating that like halo of the Catholic Church with the Virgin Mary. You always see her with a halo behind it, so it plays out at the right angle of the coffin, and her standing in front. When you look at it straight forward, you see the sun radiating halo around her head, which is like a very icon. So
it has meaning to people who really understand
so there's a lot of stuff, and
look what you guys did back here. So she's definitely floating out of it, so you can still get to see her. And
you zoom in, like you said, her belt buckle has
that's so beautiful, like the stitching here
on her boots, and
even the eye of the skeleton has so much character that reminds you of Day of the Dead. It's not just a skull, you know what I mean? It's a meaningful looking,
and we decided, because in the comic her costume has like skeletal bones on it, and like Punisher, it's usually painted on or whatever. On hers, it's like leather sewn, on
top of the leathers.
So all the bones and everything are leather sewn kind of appliques on top of the pants and the shirt, and
that's why I love you sharing these
around her wrist.
Because like these are you get to see, you touched on this earlier, but you get to see the sculpt in its purity, right? Before the stuff that you actually can pick up without paint is crazy. So, and I guess that's where paint can come in and accentuate all of these things. It's given so much to work with. Like you don't have to create detail just in the paint, or they could come in and just be like cover up all of this beautiful detail.
Most definitely.
Because
even if you zoom in, I think I might have sent pictures of like her face or some other stuff. But if you zoom in tight on her face, it has there's some other photos of different views.
Oh, here we go.
You can see on the right, the makeup is slightly engraved in her face. So that's to allow production to make sure they're catching that makeup right, because if they don't paint that correctly, they can fuck that whole thing up, and we didn't want to use decals, so there is,
gross decals, gross, no.
I mean, decals work great. We do use them all the time. I think there's a lot of things that are decals that people don't realize. Eyes for one thing, because if you have somebody sitting there painting thousands of eyes and having to line them up perfect,
just throw a stick on that bitch.
It's easier to try to match a decal than to try to paint an eye, because if they get it crooked and wrong, they can't.
Oh man, like it just to pay off a little bit, it can make the whole. It can destroy the whole thing.
So but
the lips are freaking gorgeous and juicy and voluptuous. Little like indents.
And you can see how they're sculpted. You might look at it and go, "Oh, that's a weird sculpt," but it's there to make sure the paint is there and the lights hitting the lips properly for the highlights. Not only does the paint accentuate it, but it's the topography of the sculpt. We do it in a way to like some areas need to catch light, because if you've seen a real person with a ridge on the lip, you're gonna be like, look a little weird, that doesn't look right. But certain things are sculpted in specific ways.
I thought they were trying to add the shading, like the sort of like it already adds sort of like the shading, so it's just not flat texture.
That's what
And this is the smooth version of it, so you
Oh,
can
that
see
was
the
that just goes before the
engraving.
before we put all of the lines in.
Yeah,
I know that because the thing is it's hard to see what she looks like with all the white and black makeup on, because and that's by design. I know I think it was like Buck or somebody was like, I don't like the portrait and this, that, and the other. It's like, well, how can you say it when you can't really see the portrait? You're seeing the makeup on it, but
funny.
really,
This picture looks like Rihanna.
This is an awesome piece.
I'm cool with that.
I'm just,
But it does. It's funny because Mark Newman. I've told it like the piece. That,
Mark Newman used to date Rihanna. Y'all didn't know
that piece that Critical Mass.
Oh, you didn't know?
Critical Mass has that Deja Thoris from PCS.
Yeah.
And I was like, this thing looks just like Rihanna. And I told Mark, I go, did you use Rihanna to base this? He goes like, what? No. And I was like, are you sure? And I sent him pictures of Rihanna and the piece side by side. And I was like, that wasn't
that little Deja. Right.
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong. Just like when people were saying that the robe was looking at like Fergie, and Fergie looks good. So I'm like, who cares? Like if they use Fergie to do that, as long as the statue came out cute. I mean, I think Fergie would make a dope rogue anyway. So
well, it goes back to like when you guys clown around and are messing around and casting movies and who would be. It's the same thing when you're designing something, especially a female. You're like, you want her to be hot or whatever. Everybody's thrown in like, well, who do you think who personifies that character? So obviously you're going to go and start scouring like actresses or musicians or whatever, and you're going to go, well, I like this look, or I like the nose of this and this, and
you get to make your dream version of who you would like to see in the role,
and you get to keep it in your collection for life.
Yeah, the funny thing is like with Rogue, when Will did that piece and it was all painted and said and done amongst ourselves, because a lot of times if we're not project managing it, we're not on top of like how it's coming through and stuff. So when it comes out from somebody else, we see it and I go, yeah, look, that was the first thing that came out of a bunch of our mouths that weren't working. I go, that looks just like Fergie. So, like we were even joking and talking about it, but Will was like, that wasn't his intent. So whether it's subliminal or just kind of, it's almost like when you say like
everybody looks like something.
You got a twin out there that I seen some dude that looked just like you, or I seen some chick that looks like your wife or whatever. It's that weird kind of thing.
You sure it wasn't my wife? You know something I don't know?
like when Crippler grows his beard out, he looks like Drake.
Hey, don't disrespect.
Wow,
man.
I wanted to go back to this picture because of even the freaking necklaces, the chain she got on.
Yeah, and those are sculpted in, and we got to make sure there's no undercuts or there's no little holes, because what'll happen is the silicone will catch around those things and they'll rip the mold.
Damn it, Anthony! I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
mold, look at
that. Son.
Mark knows his way.
God darn it!
Those pants are like right.
Look at this.
Right there on the.
This right here is art.
Yep.
This is pure unadulterated art right there, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we've seen the statue. Not like we didn't see it before already.
Hey, yo, I'm saying that this is.
Let him cook, Rasheed. Let him cook.
Yeah. You know, somebody
he's burning the food. He's burning the food.
No, yo. You don't like this, Rasheed? I got
it's cool. I'm just not. I'm just not in the character.
I got you. Say less, homie.
Just like I like the
What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside.
There you go, homie.
I'll make a custom one for him. I'm gonna make a one fit where the money resides.
Yo, we're gonna get him a 1-for-1 money reside.
It's gonna be 1/5 mythos.
1/5 mythos money reside, baby. Coming at you. No, but this is beautiful, dude. I actually love the composition of this.
Yeah, it was a tricky one, but yeah, it came out.
Shout out to Mark, did his thing with this one. Yeah. Tell us one thing that we don't know about this piece when it comes to bringing it to
that you don't know. Stage. I think we covered
we
everything.
Don't know.
It's not going to be lit up
It's not gonna be lit.
As much as like the candles and everybody's like you should light all the candles, but especially and I don't want to go down that route, but especially in today's climate is like we're glad we didn't go and light those things up just because of how prices and everything are fluctuating around. But I mean, you guys have seen everything on that, but it'll be. I've seen it. And it looks great. It's going to be. If you're into it, it's coming out and it looks the way we've been showing it. It was
the witch. The witch is the one that had different.
And I know the inside of the coffin has like, if you see in the color images, there's pearls and stuff, so it looks like it's a satin fabric. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a magenta purpley color inside. So there's
double-digit ES.
Oh, watch out! Secret code. That's the thing where we label all the parts, so we know. I think on that thing, if it says, I forget what does that file say on the top? Do you have a thing where it says what the file?
Yeah, it says La Muerta 035.
That means there's 35 parts to that to go into production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
35 parts.
35 individual pieces to that piece. So that kind of gives you an idea, because I didn't go and show the exploded view of what makes up that whole piece, but there's 35 parts to that. So.
Yeah, no, beautiful piece. This came out of nowhere, and it's still to this day just sort of like, I don't know this character, but I want to know this character.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was Sideshow original stuff. You know what I mean? Because
I can see why.
All the females and everything, but like I said, I didn't know who the character was either. But
it's because you didn't have to go through, I guess, some of the bigger licensees.
Yeah, well, we had a relationship with them, and this is one of their. I don't want to say lower tier, but it was just something that was, it's not a Wolverine or a, Superman or anything like that.
So we got Loki. Now this Loki,
this one's been shown for a while, but I just wanted to bring some images that showcased the details and some of the stuff that goes into these, because, I see when they get glazed over when we're just looking at photos from the website. There's a lot of things that get missed because there's either, studio lighting, because it's very specific lighting for like a beauty shot, or it's just the turnarounds and you just don't get to see it. Paint does its job, but I mean, you don't get to see the back of his back or his boot like that, or the bottom of his boot, or any of that stuff in the photos. This allows you to see that how much gets sculpted that you don't see. This is all stuff that gets worked on and figured out. And you see all the scales. And if you look at some of the scales on his chest, some of them are raised a little bit higher than the other ones. If you look, you can see it on his. You can see how the highlights are. Yeah. When you get in real close, it's kind of hard to see. But when you back out, you can see the lighting where some are out more, some are in more. So it gives that. So when you see it painted, you kind of get that look. It's just not a texture on top of it.
It's not just gonna be flat. It's gonna
there's actual
mapping to it.
Yeah, exactly.
This is dope. Like, this piece, people seem to instantly fall in love with it as soon as they see the full review,
which was great. And then once again, you see all the wraps. Look at, we even sculpted the texture on the bottom of the shoe. So some people you see a lot of them customs, and they're just flat, smooth as can be.
Take that, Jarhead.
Take that.
And like the puckering of the leather and just the way everything's been. And this was sculpted by Steve Lord, who did the Succubus.
Steve Lord? I gotta keep my eye out on him, because
Lord's been. That's the thing. It's like a lot of these guys, people are more familiar with just their names because they get talked about in the community. But a lot of these guys have been around forever. They go back from working with toys, and Steve Lord's one of those guys. And if you did a list of what Steve Lord has done in the past, just even for us, like, oh, all right.
That's something I want to do, because the thing is too, is like we know Danny Bell is really good at talking.
He's on the forefront. He's
Yeah.
he's not, and that's the thing. Steve Lord is very quiet. He's not one to be out there. But I mean, even Daniel Bal will go to Steve Lord to have an anatomy check on Daniel Bal's sculpts.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
The amount of
Even though
talent
Daniel
that
Bal
is shared is
way
insane.
up here. Daniel Bal has no problem going like, I'm not sure about this piece. I'm going to send it to Steve so Steve can give an anatomy pass. Steve will send something back to Daniel, and Daniel was like, now I'm off to the races. You know, I got my anatomy squared away and stuff. So there's a very big collaborative scenario going on there.
Shout out to Steve Lord. Yeah, no, like I said, there's this thing is sculpted extremely well to the point of
it's awesome because it was good to see that some of the stuff that we were putting into this, that collectors were picking up on it. It was like, you know, the looseness, you know, the way he's kind of holding the strap to, you know, Thor's hammer, and it's just kind of like he's kind of playing with it and toying with it, you know. He's not just like holding it, you know. There's a lot of subtle gesture. His head's just not straight and tilted down. It's slightly cocked to the side. It's down enough to where he's looking under his brow when it's painted. I mean, all of these things are taken in consideration in composition and pose and gesture and emotion, which I think, you know.
Yeah, no, like I said, if you guys are
does that the best, but I mean, you know, I truly feel that we do go that far to get all the little nuances that sometimes are taken for granted, because when it comes together, it works. He sees why does it work when it gets all put together. So
no, and I think when it comes to just sort of like statues and what goes into making it and all of that good stuff, is like if you're planning on getting these statues like already, then it's cool to like sort of see it in its pure form like this. And
like even the trident, you know, a lot of people would just say, oh, he's holding a trident. Well, it's going to be straight. It's got to be perfectly straight up and down. And it's like, no, that's compositionally, you don't want to do that. You know, that's not the best look. So it's
posing one-on-one. When I pose my freaking Aquaman with the trident, I don't have it straight up. I got it like a little tilt to it because it adds that more to the freaking silhouette.
Exactly.
Pose one-on-one. So.
Yeah.
Cool, but yeah, no. Shout out to Loki, and now we got
Loki,
the final one. We had to wait late for this one because we got to make sure the kids were all sleeping.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, which one is this?
Night.
This is another one where you just wake up one day and Sideshow's texting you like, "Hey,
there's a witch.
Check out hot lady."
Yeah. I ordered this.
Yeah,
you got it. Did you get it without the hair though? Right.
The funny thing is, we were tossing around ideas about some of that stuff, but it was like at the end of the day, we were just like, "Yeah, we better."
Yeah,
I'm going to hook up with Glass Joe, and we're going to work it out.
you got to commission.
Snap that hair off and resculpt.
Cut the hair.
Give her
off
a little cut right here.
Little nips.
Yeah. So this is one that we had been working on for years and years, but the reason it wasn't necessarily because this took so long. It was because the concept kept fluctuating all over internally in design. You know, we had it was all over. I think I'd mentioned on one of the I don't know if it was on this show or on a different one, where at one point she was like very dark and she had like crow wings, and it was totally different. And then it evolved into more of a kind of a pin-up-y kind of version, but we wanted it kind of dark, you know. And this is what we came up with, you know. And she's a witch of the woods, so she's kind of like druidish, but we also wanted that that big witchy hat. Some people like it, some people, but it's like with the advent of like, anime and cosplay, it kind of fits right in. It has that kind of video game-esque vibe.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Anthony, I didn't even notice there was a hat, Anthony.
Yeah, right? Got a hat.
Hey, she the goat too, son. She the goat.
Funny thing is, a lot of people don't when it's painted. Mm-hmm. They didn't. Some people were like, I didn't even see that. So, they're looking around. They're not focused on the goat, which is good because the goat shouldn't be the focus of the piece.
Oh no! If the goat,
Yeah.
If the focus is
that's
on the
what-
goat, something's wrong.
Yeah,
your
that's right.
priorities is good. You
You
got
can see the
shrooms.
gate, there's-
What kind of shrooms? I say don't eat these shrooms. bro.
Yeah,
Don't
shrooms.
even see.
toadstools,
Something gonna happen to you.
shrooms. If you look, there's
Quarter
skulls.
steps.
Yep.
Yeah, look at all of the skulls.
And
man.
but if you look at, I think I'd mentioned, if you look in the wood, in the trees, there's like little creepy ghosty, like little creepy faces. Like when it's painted, you can see them a little bit better, but they form like a mouth that's like kind of screaming and eyes and stuff. So,
Ooh, what was the trees in Game of Thrones called again?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't
It's in it
remember.
Yep.
Yeah,
So you can see it there on the front, kind of like twisted.
yeah,
warped
The
out.
tree is in agony.
like
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Frenzy asked,
That's good,
how
man.
long did this one take from idea? And I think you probably were talking about the Loki. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm getting into this comment later.
Which one he's talking about?
How long did this take from idea on paper to scope release to public?
Yeah, if he's talking about the witch, like I said, that thing had been in development for years, but it wasn't because of this one design. It was because the design kept changing internally. Because that's the thing when you're doing original pieces. There's no licensor there to tell you stop or no. You know, we're either our own worst enemy or our best, asset, because we can go in there and come up with something that, the only one that's staying is the internal design team, and how to kind of do it. So once we all came to an idea of what we wanted, then it was to execute it. But it was the idea and the concept that was kept popping back and forth. Do we want to go spooky and creepy, and where some people like more horrific, or do we want to bias towards a little bit of horror, which you see the heart and her arm, but that is like more of like an Easter egg-esque kind of deal. We don't want that front and center. We want her front and center. But if you're gonna look, and once again, it does some visual storytelling, like all of her little talismans on her hat and on her waist and her jewelry and the goat, and it's more of like fill in the blanks, because a lot of people are like, they didn't understand with the goat, and it's like, okay, well, she's a witch. She's opening up kind of another another like astral plane, or from a different plane, and it's like her homunculus or her familiar that's kind of coming through
any fantasy or video game. You get the goat.
Yeah.
Whether it's a sacrifice, whether there's so much.
Yeah. And of course people were going, oh, it's like witches, and it's like, yeah, obviously we pulled inspiration from the movie The Witches, because you had, was it the goat in there, I forget his name, but the black goat that's in there, but he was super creepy. But you always have a goat's always part of like kind of druid satanic creepy rituals.
Yeah, they love their goats.
Yeah, so that's why we went that route. And the funny thing is we had it even like the goat was kind of really creepy, but we kind of made it a little lessened up the creep on it.
You toned it down.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, I love what you guys doing with
the image of her hand with holding the heart and her dagger. What are those in there? You could see the detail on the dagger. It wasn't this image, but there should have been some other images that were.
We got images. We got
because this one you won't see the details in it. So yeah, that gives you an idea.
Pregnant?
The dagger alone, yeah. The dagger alone is
what the heck?
Is a full skull
goat.
Yeah, one side has the goat. The other one.
She's a freaking goat worshiper, bro.
She ain't playing.
Look at the souls screaming out. Yo, Freddy
I'm gonna have
Krueger
to keep a
style.
Bible back here in the man.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pray.
Holy water, and these are things
Holy
that
water.
Nobody's nobody can see that in the photos that we show. These are the details that go into something like this, and even paint, might obscure a little bit of this. But I mean, I remember when we had Succubus and I brought it on, I had images and it showed the horns on the Succubus, and they were hands that were intertwined with bodies and stuff, and nobody
picked that.
Nobody would ever see it. If you had the statue and you look, you'll see it. But these are the type of details that were in there. I think there was one of the heart as well, so you could see the sculpt was like the human heart and you could see how the veins and arteries and everything else, because when it's painted, it's dripping in blood, so you kind of miss all of that stuff. And then you see your portrait.
Oh,
Ate.
let's go to the heart first.
Yeah, we'll go to our, and look at her bracelet. Her bracelet are like snake vertebrae.
Bones.
Yeah, it's
Oh
vertebrae of a
shit!
snake.
It's funny how her face and her body is perfect, but her hand shows her age. And
Oh,
That's her witchy.
twisted.
Yeah, that's that old witchy. You know, because
she's
Long
freaking
fingernails.
doing. You
incantation.
got an old you got an old
She-
one. Critical
That's an
Mass.
old lady hand model right there.
That's the hand you don't want.
No, the hand that
open-
rocked the cradle.
That's called that's called the diddler.
Oh no,
That's the
finger
hand
right
you
here.
don't want grabbing your stuff.
No.
No, thank you.
She got a grip too. Y'all better back up.
Yeah, but you can see the heart and everything that's in there.
Yeah, no, this is
Guardian.
super
I've never seen
detailed.
the Guardian. A horde from the Guardian. And that's obviously the key that allows it to key into the arm. So, but
Oh, that's the key right there, son.
yeah, there's the key right there.
Yes, key.
Damn.
Yo,
Random
I would
ass.
love to put this together. If anybody want me to put together their witch
Send
statue,
it to Crippler.
look at the keys,
He'll
yo.
do a live
Yeah,
unboxing.
you got to key those
Look at the
questions,
keys.
man.
Are strategically placed.
And this one was sculpted by Daniele Angeloni he's out in Italy. So
Thank you, Danielle.
that's
he goes
a-
by you might even know him by Danny Danko. He goes by Danny Danko.
Danny Danko,
Thanks,
shout
thanks
out,
Mr. Danko.
This is really, really freaking awesome. I want let's see. So this is the
Yeah, the base.
base. Yeah, no, these are super exciting pieces because like I said, they most are original IP minus Loki.
Right.
Or the
Often
Muera,
very long
but it's low enough. But the fact that you guys are doing a character like that I don't know many people on our panels or the shows that we be messing with who knew that character. Like that's this person, like right off the
Yeah.
bat. But
Yeah.
the fact that y'all took a chance and did it is cool.
Yeah, because a lot of the shows, you know, they're comic book character bias, you know, that's Marvel, DC. But some of the pieces like these are the ones that we have the most fun with, and you know, I always hear on the shows where they're like, Sideshow's killing it with the originals. Well, because we can do what we want, we get to flex and do stuff without, you know, licensors putting a stop to it. You know, that's the advantage that like the, you know, quote unquote custom unlicensed pieces, they don't have to deal with that. That's why you see the choices and the sizes and the parts and whatever they're doing is because there ain't nobody. It might as well be their original. You know what I mean? They're just doing it of an existing character. There's nobody to stop them. They can do whatever they want. As far as licensed comic book stuff, we can't. But that's, you know, that's the difference.
That's the nice thing about those succubus that you guys did.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I pay both of them off at on the 25th.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those came out great. I mean, even out of production, they came out great. It was like nice, you know. And the funny thing is, I think I talked about it. You know, internally, we were kind of torn. We were like, "Is this?" I don't know if it was because we were just looking at it for so long and working. It was like, "Is this?" Sometimes you get lost in the piece. Is this look good? Is this not look? Is this still? Are we going down a rabbit hole that we don't, you know, that maybe only we think it looks cool? And then so it's
right
here on, you know, when it gets released and see the reception that it did get. We're like, all right, we're on the right path with that.
When you guys go down that path, do you ever get like an outside voice, just somebody that's not even
bring somebody in to look at it?
Yeah. What do you think?
Not so much.
Not
I mean, there'll
really.
be people that come in and might see it, but you know, it's a rarity to find somebody to come in that's going to really, you know, be, I guess, honest, you know, from the outside. And sometimes you don't want those opinions either, because they might not even like it, or like anything about the genre or anything like that.
It might not be their thing.
Yeah, and it's like, well, they obviously don't know what they're talking about, you know, or whatever it may be. But
you think you could reach out to Mark Newman and ask him? I'm sorry. See if he could do this for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
funny thing is
we approve.
The funny thing is these have been these have not been gone unnoticed around here.
Oh, really?
I mean, I've
Yeah.
as soon as the
Say
game
more.
started, I was like, we need to look into this. But unfortunately, it's a weird thing because of the licensing, and we don't have video game license. You know, once again, the license. If anything comes out of this, you're going to see unlicensed things come out of it because the license is so weird and tricky that.
Oh, with the game stuff?
Yeah, who's gonna? You know, you got to pay for a whole different license. It's not. We would have to have a license for Marvel games as opposed to Marvel. Like,
Right, then
because I know
wonder,
you guys
is
did
worth
do it.
that?
You guys did do an art print for Marvel Rivals.
and then prints are different. You know,
Yeah.
a print license is way different than a statue type license. But who knows? You know, I've been pushed because I was like, this is a fresh take on stuff that has been played out for
Exactly.
the thing. You know, but we run into this thing to where and it's like there's so much, you know, skin to win on some of these characters. We've never been allowed to do that, and I don't know how really that would work out, to be honest.
And I know you're not on the business part of it, but yo,
Yeah.
I don't know how they get in this stuff licensed because Marvel is still the gotta sign off on this shit.
because
It's
it's the Asian market that usually dictates that stuff. I mean, you know, when you look at like the Japanese, like Kyoto pieces that come out where they're sexy and kind of they're showing a little bit more cleavage and butt and stuff, and
Yeah.
those have been going on forever. I used to collect some of those, and I was like, I'd get pissed off because in the meetings, and this was, you know, over 10 years ago, I'd be like, how come we can't do these things, you know?
Right.
But you find out that it's a different country and they have different.
Yeah, it's a whole different
Yep.
bag. Comic Galaxy asks, I know it would have been hard to give her a switch out ugly witch portrait because of the hair, but a switch out right arm holding a mirror with her alternate hideous reflection would have been cool. I like that idea.
Been cool. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ideas that we could go down that route, but it's at some point you got to just like, you can't overcommit. You know, at some point you got to just go. We're going into a marketplace that we're not sure about to begin with, and then if we start doing some more ambitious or crazy things, it wouldn't take much for us to lose our ass on that project because it's like we've went too far. We've asked, but I mean that's a cool idea. We always, some of the ideas that we come up with, it's like I wish we could have done it or we would have followed through on some stuff, but yeah,
no, but all of that
thing is to problem solve out something like that. We always the way to do something like that, we could have had a switch out hand and we would have decaled the mirror with face. So she looks pretty, but in the mirror,
but the decal is just sort of like,
and all we would, and we have the file, so all we would have to do is just do that and put it.
Hey, there you go. You can sneak that in there. Look at that. Just a decal. I seen somebody post recently where they did they converted a Deja Thoris into what's her name from Spider-Man. You know, it's sculpted.
Oh, Mary Jane.
Yeah. And I love seeing that stuff. Like it's because I come from model.
You're a hobbyist, dude.
And
like
garage guys, and that's what we used to do was customizing and all that. To me, that's customizing.
Yeah.
I always get hung up on the vernacular of customizing and unlicensed because to me that's not customizing. It's just an it's a model kit, unlicensed model kit. Which I'm not saying that
it's something you already own.
Negative way. I mean, that's what it is. It's not nobody's customizing something. You usually have to have something to customize a custom thing, but it's different. But
well, I love my Deja from Sideshow. I ain't touching it.
So do I, man, and I'm pissed because I don't have one, and I was supposed to get one of the pieces that came, and I was like, "What happened to my Deja Thoris?"
God damn it!
You know, I worked with Will on that, and I helped design the chair and work with him to get some stuff done, and the map of Mars on the base. Because if you look at the base,
the base is
the map of Mars.
There you go. Comic Galaxy said you're right on. He said, "Yeah, with a decal was exactly what I was thinking." There you go. But yo, Anthony, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for bringing stuff. Like you said, you didn't have to do that. You wanted to do that, and we'd love to see that stuff, especially
Well, I wanted to put Rasheed to sleep and
Rasheed and AK.
to sleep.
Once you reach the 2 hour mark, that always happens.
Minute you
night time on the
about
East
real
Coast.
stuff. He wants to complain and start fights.
I
stand on business. That's what it is. I don't start fights. I stand on shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
You looking at the number one fight finisher.
Yep.
Darth Rashidi.
We have a thing called Fight Friday. We always do when everybody gets rambunctious on Fridays, and we're always internally. We're just going at each other, talking shit, and man, this is being silly, of course. And it used to be funny because we used to get so bad amongst us in here. They, some of the higher. So, all right, this Fight Friday bullshit needs to stop.
You guys are getting a little personal.
Yeah, well, it was because we were having fun, and people that weren't involved in the fun part of it, they were just like,
they didn't get it.
Yeah, they didn't get it, and we were just blowing off steam at the end of them. Like, that thing's this and that, exactly like what was going on earlier. Or you were just talking shit and going off and just having fun with it.
It was fun. It was just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm glad you invited me in, and I was able to share some stuff with you guys. I'm always like, trying to find some stuff to bring to the table that I could at least show to you guys that isn't too far out to where they're like, nope, don't say anything on it.
Don't say anything.
And you guys got a lot cooking, so there's gonna be
a lot there. I mean, there's just to give you, we have a, I'm just gonna tell you stuff that's not divulging anything, but just kind of we'll eventually be talking about a new license collaboration that I think people are going to be excited about. All I'll say is it's not comic book, but it will be in conjunction with somebody. But the art that's going to be coming from it, and the statues are definitely going to fit kind of.
I told y'all to mark the Todd McFarlane license. It happened, folks. It happened. But it's going to be based off the movie with Jamie Foxx. But we're getting somewhere.
We're getting
somewhere.
Rejoice.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be people that are into Court of the Dead and that type of genre are going to be ecstatic, I think, when they see what we got cooking. So there's that, and there's some other stuff. There's a Spidey villain that's going to be coming out. That's going to be out. There's some cool shit.
Spidey villains back in the market. Hey, Spidey villains are back.
Yeah,
because
there's a few things that are looking really slick. And then of course,
we've seen a. I don't know if you know, but when you guys showed MODOK, there was a storm on the table.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I seen somebody was saying there's storm, and I was like, where are they seeing storm?
That wasn't a storm?
I didn't see any storm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We wanted to clarify.
It was an old storm or something, but I'm like, where are they seeing storm at? But I didn't see
it. Was a storm, or if it wasn't storm, it was Cloud Lady.
Now listen, I'm not saying we're not above doing a storm, but there was no storm in the video. No. I'll tell you
that. Okay. Yeah, I'm.
There's some cool stuff coming out, and
that's why I'm like stuff like that. I don't.
A while back, so expect. You could fill in the blanks on Universal Monsters for people that are into that on what would be hitting.
It's safe to say that there's always going to be X-Men coming.
That's safe to say. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, do we have any X-Men stuff coming?
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, there is some stuff.
Yes.
It's become such commonplace that I'm like,
is it Saturday? Is it Thursday? Yeah, X-Men is coming.
Critical seeing something out here.
I saw.
Yeah.
I saw something. I saw.
And I should have known because I just painted on it like last week. So I was like, oh yeah, there is that one. And so
I know people hate when we talk big like that about stuff. So I'll just leave it like this. I've stopped a potential pre-order because
you have knowledge of something.
So I'll just leave
And
it
that's
at
all
that.
he's gonna say.
I hate when
And-
shows do that shit. I
Yeah.
don't know why I just
I'm gonna
did
say that
I have knowledge.
it. And this and that.
I have knowledge of a lot
the
of stuff. but I ain't
potential
gonna say it.
X-Men that's coming out has a really awesome light up feature.
One of my favorite characters.
So that's
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that because I was like, but yo, thank you so much for your time. Mr. President, Darth Rashidi, thank you for addressing and calming down the concerns of the community. You have been leading this community in ways that no other president can. Cash, imagine he would have been elected, dude. It would have been a tariff war. It would have been world war. You know what I mean? So like the fact that we're doing a tariff economic trade war is great. It's fantastic because the BBC way would have been nuclear. So just think about that, folks.
Yeah.
BBC are not the people who want running the country.
They are not in your best interest.
Pastor Gemini is a master manipulator.
I call them scarifs.
Scarifs, like everybody. Hey,
And,
the scarifs
and they're
are coming.
box
Hashtag
lovers.
Hashtag scarifs.
And
Like,
they're box
I literally
lovers.
like as somebody who's like covered statues in the hobby is like the last thing I want it's important to our hobby. If I'm talking about tariffs every week, that ain't fun for me. So I just sort of like, and
It's gonna
anybody
get
who
old
knows me
after
is
a
like,
while.
yo, if that I could give up like. Once it gets political and all of that stuff.
The problem is our hands are tied. You know, everybody's hands.
Everybody's
are tied.
hands are tied.
At the end of the day, it's like, you know, this motherfucker fucked up all kinds of stuff. You know, and it's like, what are you do?
Are you? And all I want to say is to the people: are you happy now? You happy now?
But even then, I think
choice?
that's how you get into the situation where people feel like they elect those because it's more of like. When you get to a situation where the world is where the world is, and no matter what you do, it's going to lead into a place where it's going to divide the company down. Like, and so like, is it him? Could be. Is it them? But like, the division there it just sucks. Like that's why we're collecting. I just try to keep it straight up. Like there is no division here, bro. It's like. You can support who you want privately. I don't care if you voted for this person or that person, but in the hobby, it's just sort of like, I don't like, no matter who we put in there, somebody is going to be happy or sad, or somebody's going to be like, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's why I really don't talk about politics a lot because
but I'm not saying you don't have to talk about it, and I'm never suppressing anyone to talk about it. I'm just saying that anything that leads to more division is something that I don't want to come to a hobby and bring to it.
No, like I said, I go home and watch, I go home and I'll watch the news or whatever, and I'm like flipping around on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, somebody's live. You know, one of the shows is live, and I'll click on it, see what's going on. Usually, I catch it at the ass end or midway. And the past week or two, every one of them it's tariff this, tariff that. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm clicking out of this one.
Because it's important, and I'm glad. Like I said, CMP had a thumbnail that I'm gonna watch later because I was out of town and I missed it. And then BBC, they did a great conversation on what they feel is going to affect the hobby that they love. So I will never take that away. I'm just saying that me personally, as somebody who is here to have fun. Once it becomes not fun anymore, then I'm not reporting. I'm not going to be reporting news. I'm not going to I'm not have no interest in like freaking being a news guy in this space, and I have no interest.
I have no problem talking about certain things, but me tied into Sideshow, everybody wants to know what Sideshow's thing is. I'm like, dude, we're going through the same thing everybody else is going through, and nobody knows what's going on the other end. So it's like,
when we talked about it a little bit, like just brushed on it, it was just sort of like, in the same boat. Like nobody knows what's going on,
One day
or
it's
how
this,
companies
the
are
next day
going to
it's that,
react to
you
this
know.
shit.
A month ago, it was, he was hitting Canada and Mexico, and then all of a sudden he lifted that, and the
Yeah.
stock market's dropped. It had the biggest drop now. Then it's like the highest hit since World War II. Shit's all over the place. And it's
Yeah.
one thing with the
Thanks, Vision.
with a hobby. It's another thing. It affects even me more directly, because it's like everything we make is overseas, and
Yeah.
like Rasheed was
Yeah.
saying earlier, and some other people I seen, it's like, if you think somebody's going to come into the States and open up a factory to do painting and casting,
You're crazy.
that ain't happening. I'll tell you right now, that ain't happening.
Hey, Apple. I don't know. I heard what Apple did, but Apple got all of their devices that they shipping in September. Like they're all over here now. They opened up their own warehouses and facilities, and they like, yo.
But here's a funny thing, of course, Apple. Apple's one of the biggest companies in the world. Their assembly, there's very specific assembly and technology and all that and everything else. But the reality of it is, as much as you look at our hobby and it's like, oh, it's painted statues and molding and casting, and it seems like it's very it's night and day between iPhones and what we have. But the weird thing is that there's an element of artistic and like hand-eye coordination and problems. It's like you have to be able to paint an eye or shade something or do it, and you have to go, does it look right? Does it do this? When they're doing stuff like for manufacturing, like electronics and everything, what you got to do, and you have machines and you got solder.
Yeah.
Do that stuff 25 years ago, building computers for the government, and it was like you had a step where you soldered a specific part, and you had all your instructions, and you keyed in on your job, and then it went to inspection, and if they didn't get inspected, it came back to you, and you had to go back and do it. Everything is set. When we do the statues and stuff, there's part of that. It's a whole different thing. You're not going to get somebody coming in, and it's hard enough to find. If you look around, like say like customs or people who have people paint model kits, they usually have their painter that they like to use or whatever.
Yeah.
And those painters you can't find them. That's why there's a handful of painters in the whole industry, whether it's model kits or people that paint prototypes.
Well, I think politics aside and all of it, I think that's a problem of there's not much jobs over here for it, so nobody goes into it. You know what I mean? So it's like, so if our ties to getting that type of labor is dependent on overseas, that is a problem we created. We don't train people to be able to to motivate them to want to, because there's no money in it if you go overseas, and here nobody's hiring really for it unless you're a master painter that's doing it.
The infrastructure's out there. I mean, if I remember when I was a kid, and Critical probably remembers, if you looked at a toy, it always said made in Hong Kong, made in Japan, made in China. That was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You never came across shit that said made in the USA or made in that, because all those companies were set up, Barbie and Mattel, well, Barbie was part of Mattel and Hasbro and all them, they were manufacturing overseas. And what happens is when you have stuff like that, just like anything, you set that up out there, they start problem solving and figuring things out and designing machines to do certain things like vinyl and styrene.
They have the institutional knowledge to continue to be able to do that. Yeah.
They invest in the infrastructure, create new machines. They train up workers. They train up their talent, and then before you know it, they know how to do all that shit.
This slot car is from the 1970s.
Yeah.
You could barely see it, but on the
like
bottom
an
it says
AFX.
It says made in Singapore.
Yeah.
And this is from
1970. I totally get it. It's been happening for a very, 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 very long time. I just think that what I don't subscribe to personally is that we can't do it. There's reasons why we won't. It doesn't make economic sense.
We could do, but
But
it's like
we could fucking like
we could
do
never
anything they could do anywhere around the world.
Yeah.
And thrive at it. It's just that
we've done it.
we don't
before.
have the institutional knowledge because we don't have an infrastructure that
Exactly. It's
supports it, and we couple ourselves to that to the point where I feel more issue with the state of the country that if anyone pulls out, we don't know where we get our we don't know where we get shit from. Like to me, that like, and I'm not saying I'm not saying Trump's gonna fix it. I'm just saying in general, regardless of who you put in power, the problem is that if anyone decides to say we're not fucking with the United States anymore, we're so stupid. We don't know how to do this and we don't know how to do that. And
it's like the movie Idiocracy.
Hi-fi equipment of like, if I want to get a DAC and there's certain freaking OAMPs and stuff that I need, it comes from over there, and then nobody's over here doing it. And you know, that's like shit audio in California that's trying to do that, but eventually they get some places out there.
Absolutely.
But it and then what kills me the most is in the industry that I'm in and that I love, that I make a career on.
Mm-hmm.
I know how it works. And the thing is too, it's just sort of like when now all of a sudden something that is not manufactured, it's all designed and created and brain trust in United States.
Yeah, movies.
And all of a sudden it's like a digital game is gonna go up to $100 now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Developers ain't seeing that. You know what I mean? It ain't like we're gonna get paid more for it.
Yeah, the problem is
sort of like
even you know, people argue and they'll go, well, at some point you got to put a stop. You know, that's Trump's whole thing in the government. So you got to put a stop to it and start bringing this back to the U.S. But it's like, by the time by the time it gets to the point to where their factories are going up, it's not going to be collectible factories. It's going to be, you know, automotive, high tech job, and that's not going to happen overnight. So what happens to everybody in the meantime? All these small businesses take a beating. They go away. You know, it's just I don't know.
Hey, the best QA that I ever have, and I have partners that I've worked with, but there's nothing like being able to do your work and have the testers locally where you can interact.
Absolutely.
Like when I have to deal overseas a lot for testing, it's just like, or when you rotating people out constantly, you lose the institutional knowledge that they have. So you got to train them up.
Even that way overseas, you know, because I remember, you know, when I was going out to China all the time and going into the factories after, you know, Chinese New Year, all of a sudden you would see there would be nobody. You know, it was like they had to train a group of people in a factory, and then all of a sudden they go home and they're like, they don't come back. And it's like, oh, well, what happened? And why is, you know, this suffering, or why is that suffering on the line? While those people that knew all that, they made all their money that they wanted, and they went back home and don't have to work anymore, and they're just living at the farm with their family. It's like they're retiring. So now you lose that group of people that were trained up, knew how to do shit, and then the influx of new workers, you know, in China, they didn't want to work in the factories because they didn't have to. You know, there was an influx of money and opportunity that came into the government out there, and they're like,
rich, bitch.
Yeah, well, I'm going to school. Where those opportunities were there, and the factory workers would go in there, and they're hard workers, and they would do what they got to do and make all their money. And then they're done. I mean, it's the same thing with like Mexico. You get them coming in, working in the farms, sending money back home, and then at some point they're like, "I'm going back home. I'm out of here," you know. And then it's got nobody wants to take their place. Nobody wants to go pick strawberries or, you know, be out there in the farms doing stuff.
Yeah, I think certain people. I think there's always levels and tiers. It's the reality of it is that nobody's gonna want to do it for the prices they pay overseas.
Exactly.
That's the reality of it.
Oh, you pay anybody enough money, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Yo,
that ain't gonna happen though.
Hey, if I was a teenager and I got paid good for picking strawberries and I could buy my game and my statues, I'm picking strawberries.
Of course,
because
I come
I'll be proud to pick
strawberry picker,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're trying to give me $1 an hour or some slave labor rates, I'm not going to be picking those
all out in
strawberries.
the sun.
And I think that's I think people confuse. And like I said, Anthony's not here speaking for. This is a conversation. This is nothing.
This isn't even about tariffs. This is just
this is in general, like economic shit.
Yeah, life.
Yeah, like because I'm like, you could pick Apple, you could pick anybody, like, or even artists. I'm pretty sure if it's anything like the industry I'm in, the amount of testing I can get overseas is insane compared to paying testers here. Like it is, I can get a whole freaking bottom floor test lab with 2 testers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's sort of like, dude, it is not even close. So how do you compete, right?
That's the problem.
I tell the producer, I'm like, you give me 5 dudes or dudettes that never leave that I could depend on, and y'all could do whatever y'all want with the rest. You know what I mean?
It's like lock them away. Every day. Give them bathroom breaks.
They could assign whoever they want.
Keep the door locked.
These people are my peoples. Like I'm going there, they're gonna give me the feedback that I need. I don't want to decipher feedback that I just like. They're gonna give me what I need, and I want them to be consistent because I don't want to keep having people that don't understand the game and then them bug shit. Like I put something in the game and they're like, oh, this is a bug. I was like, this is how it works because it is, and you have to constantly do that. And it's first world problems, but when you have that, like, I know how your feature works and this is why it's broken. That is much better than constantly explaining why something actually is not broken. You just don't understand the feature. Right. And I think
in the future.
Yeah, like you said, it's it's like of course people, here in the US they can do the things, but it's like, do they want to? I think it's we're at a place to where, like I was saying earlier, I remember, having to pull weeds and shovel snow and all that bullshit. I didn't do it because I wanted to do it. No. I did it because I was like making some money. I was, we were never rich growing up. Nope. And it was like, me and my buddies will go out and do whatever we needed to do. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen that type of mentality from younger kids or anything nowadays. You tell them to go pull some weeds for some money and they'll just go, I ain't pulling no goddamn
They're going to do a TikTok video and say, at me, bro.
Exactly. Yep. some cheek and cleavage or whatever it may be, because it's just such a different world that we live in now. So who's going to do that? Who's going to do those jobs that most people are going like, I ain't doing that for that price?
And that's what I'm worried about. The fact that, because I guarantee you, if it came down to all my friends are doing something, my parents don't got a lot of money. All my friends are doing, getting the sneakers that I can't afford. They doing this. Your pride goes out the window because you're going to do that work and then you're going to be able to stand there with the sneakers that you worked your ass off to get. That's just not presented in a lot of the situations because those jobs won't come here because they won't. It is a chicken and egg. People. It's not a they won't do. It's why won't they do it? They don't ask the why. They just say that, oh, we won't do it. There's very strong reasons.
It's the drive it's the drive and the like you'll get somebody who go like, I'm gonna do custom sneakers, an artist or something, and then they'll might find their way into doing custom sneakers and making a mint, but they have to have that drive and that want and that sacrifice to do that stuff, and I think that's where. And they're doing it because they're like the direct person, as an artist.
But that drive comes from the need, and the need comes from, I can't get this because of I can't. Now I'm either going to tap into a side of me that I didn't know I had because I didn't have to exercise, or like there's going to be other ways. And I'm not convinced or saying that I think this, like, I'm so done with the political system both ways. I think it's just I just think that they take turns fucking the country. So I don't give a fuck.
It's like the ebb and flow of life.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not engaged, but the more I get engaged, the more I realize that, hey,
it's a complicated.
It is way nuanced. It is. You can have people that you think are there to do the right thing, but it's never immediate. It's always something that's long term, and then the time it gets there, somebody else is in office, so you never reach the goal of whatever you feel that works best for your family. So I just, all of that is fucked. But what I'm saying is that right now, like, and this is something I believe no matter who's in office, is that we depend so much on the rest of the world that if anybody wanted to, they could just shut down, and we don't know what the fuck to do. We don't know how to make shit. We don't know how to have the like we don't have to. Like, I'm fortunate to work from home. You know, when I'm not at home, I'm at an office with a cubicle and all of this stuff, and it's just sort of like so.
I've been saying that for years. You know,
it's like this shut down.
Because you know, the thing is when I was in, you know, like I said, when I was going back and forth to China, I think I mentioned it in another one that. Show that we had done, but you realize when you go into those factories, a lot of those factories just don't make polystone statues. They're making all kinds of other shit, you know, and they have another division that's doing something else. And you know, usually when you go to a new factory, or even if it's somebody you go, they always bring you in, they give you a tour of the factory and want you to see what's going on the lines, and just they're showing you what their capabilities are.
Yeah,
you're putting on their best suit and you know, so to speak, and they're going to walk you through the factories, and you walk through those factories and you're like, holy fucking shit, you know. Dude. It's like you see stuff that you're familiar with, like that you see at Target.
You tour these factories, you've been to them, so you
know, everything from, you know, clothes to candles to, like, some of those factories have rooms that are their Christmas showroom. Some factories have their Halloween
show. Sex dolls.
Yeah, and you they got those too. Why do you think silicone is so popular in the hobby now?
They perfected it.
It's because,
and then they hit the button, and then they show you the pits. The pits of despair. Suicide rates through the roof.
But but it's, you know, no joking aside, you see all that shit that, like, you know, Queen or Legendary or whoever, and all of a sudden there's an influx of silicone that's everywhere. It's because of the sex dolls and the big dolls that are made overseas. So if you got a factory that knows how to they've come up with a silicone recipe and how to process it, how to punch hair, how to glue shit, how to pop eyes into it. Do you think they just did that because of somebody wants a little teeny tiny Joker head or Arnold?
Porn, baby. No. Porn is the key to innovation.
Because
look at Betamax, DVD, Betamax, Blu-ray. The winner was always the one who had.
It's the
one
same
dude wanted a girlfriend to be with him all the time.
It's the same thing. I've talked to factory owners and asked them very specifically, why is all this stuff? And that's exactly, they're like, it's because of all the sex doll stuff. The factories know how to make it, and it's even like sometimes it's a test bed to do certain things. Because I remember back in the day, you know, 20 years ago, going into the factories, and there was only one factory that was even attempting silicone stuff, and that was when it was Cinemaquette was doing like Lord of the Rings and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was, for the time, it was cool. You look at it now, it was awful. You're lucky and it wasn't because of the sculpt, because people that were sculpting this stuff were heavy hitters in the effects industry and everything else. But it's getting the factories to replicate what they were doing. So the hair, I remember Arnold's hair was like fucking sticking up all over, and they were trying to do, you know, like the 5 o'clock shadow on what's Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. And if you look at online and find any of those pieces, holy shit!
I've seen it
now. There's a reason why they, you know, that stuff looks so much better now, you know. but it's all the infrastructure and setting up the capability and the knowledge on how to do that stuff. So, but nobody here in the U.S. is doing that. Nobody in the U.S. is like, hey man, let's figure out this silicon doll technology.
Yo, give me a week. I'll send it over to my homie, my Archangel in Alabama. He'll have the best sex dolls like created you just gotta give them the motivation, son. You'll have like the most creative ones too.
And they go, who's gonna give me the capital to buy some silicone and invest into this sex doll shenanigans and little dolls?
Just show
them I ain't giving you any
chart.
You're gonna have
show them a pie chart and
trends,
and then
I love you.
You get it.
I love you.
Theodore, you absolutely. Hey, you are not wrong. Like but what I'm talking about overseas is more of like I'm not even talking about China. Like we have to go to like places like India and all of this stuff for our support. So like the same thing that probably they do in Japan and China. Like this is not a U.S. game versus like game development is game development. It's more of like what we have to do to make sure the stuff that we create works. But then there's like we're in the Korea and there's a lot of people are doing this. It's just paying for testers, just release an early alpha beta test and the players will be happy to play the game early to gather data. This happens a lot to the point where it's just sort of like, you know it's not ready, but
when somebody's like in the corner doing this and can't get out of somewhere or can't do something right, and then the people lose their mind,
There you go. He said it to me. I'm happy you play. Hey, I'm a huge hammer. You play Monster Hunter? You play Monster Hunter? But anyway, let's get in. We lost AK. We lost
down and out.
The president's taking a break.
The president has important things to do, so we got to get.
Man, I'm about to get the fuck off this shit, man.
Get at it. Go for it.
Warn him with facts.
Yeah, here we go. But yeah, no, I appreciate your insight. I appreciate you sharing. Darth Rashidi, I appreciate all you critical mass, AK.
Always.
And I'll catch you guys on the next Constructive.
Shout out, chat.
Live. You know what we're gonna do, Anthony? This one. What do we? I got to up my game. We'll leave you with a collection from one of our esteemed panelists. Wow.
You walk
see a cable hanging off the door.
What is this? Is that an X-Men collection?
Storm is the rare. Emma
Yard Adams.
This guy's awesome. Who is this?
I think his name is Flankster 17.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, Flankster.
Yeah,
I got this
Omega Red.
I got that book.
There. And then you have the Sentinels.
Oh, wow.
As you can see,
this guy must be rich.
He's a
I got this book too.
It's got Nightcrawler.
I want to be this guy's friend.
You got to pay for that privilege.
Okay.
He doesn't just take free friends. That's silly.
No free friends. This is not the olden days.
No, this is not the olden days.
Not the olden days.
And that's just art.
Please. Oh
but
wow.
As we go in, you see the Danny Belly jeans. Danny Bell cut and sewed those jeans himself. He cut and sewed them, and then you have
XM,
the
oversized, the oversized Mystique,
and then sitting down bored is Max.
He's bored out of his
Madeline Pryor.
Madeline ass.
Sideshow will have that exact one next week.
Yeah,
Mini scale.
He just seen it, guys. Next week, we'll have that Madeline Pryor.
Let me take some notes. Let's see.
Take some notes. Here we go.
Make this small.
Screenshot.
Make this bigger and better. Ooh, look at that.
Screenshot.
There we go. Hey, don't steal that one, Sideshow.
Don't you dare steal that one.
Don't you steal that one.
I'm stealing it.
And
if we stole all that shit, it'd make my job much easier. Let me tell you.
And you're gonna make 2 skills.
Yeah.
There you go. I love that Magneto.
Stolen.
I like the X in the back.
I love that Moon Knight. Rasheed's Moon Knight is awesome.
That Moon Knight.
I don't got no Moon Knight. Fuck you talking about?
It's
That's your
Magneto
Moon Knight
Knight.
right there. I thought that was your Moon Knight.
Is that a Moon Knight? Holding his hand out?
Look at there's Wendigo, and
There
Oh,
you
that's
go.
not Wendigo, man.
Oh,
You don't
what?
know your shit, man.
and
That's
Don't
Warpath
steal that.
and the bear.
Don't steal that cable,
Mystical
dude.
bear.
That cable. Let that.
look at
See now.
You know, I
Sasha's
love
gonna
that. I love
re-release
that
it.
cable, but I thought the portals looked stupid.
I agree.
I agree. It's like,
Don't tell Martine.
he said, "I love the portals." You leave me
Martine,
alone.
what you do here?
He's gonna choke you out like they choked Crippler out.
Yeah, you seen what they did to me. They
You
ain't
saw the
funny.
picture. Crip.
Yeah,
That
they had
was
their
the
honor.
ghetto rich, ghetto fab.
Yeah, how many of these you steal?
I
Yeah,
don't steal, man.
he borrows.
I don't steal. That's stuff that I pay for. Sideshow money that pays your rent, motherfucker. How about that?
Mm-mm. Ladies and gentlemen,
I
on
like
that
that.
note,